Yep, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots. And please, you know what? I got some dates since we don't got no pre-rolls. Let me give y'all these dates for the Black Privilege book tour. The book tour is a little different this time around because the book is a New York Times bestseller. So I'm going back out on the road. On May 31st, I'll be in Concord, North Carolina at the Books A Million in the Concord Mills Mall at 6 p.m. On June 1st, I'll be in Miami, Florida at the Barnes & Nobles, 12405 North Kendall Drive at 6 p.m. On June 2nd, I'll be in Houston, Texas at the Barnes & Noble, 5303 FM, 1960 West at 6 p.m. And then June 4th, I'll be at the Jacobs Javits Center in New York City for BookCon. I'll be signing at Table 9 at 12:15 p.m. Then I'll be on the main stage at 4 p.m. with Kevin Hart, interviewing him about his new book. And on June 8th, I will be in New York at the Hudson News Penn Station at 3 p.m. And on June 9th, I'll be in Philly at the Barnes & Nobles, 1805 Walnut Street at 6 p.m. So for complete details, visit cthabook.com. That's cthabook.com. See you on the road. You got dates, Schultz?
Yeah, the last date of Mansplain Tour, my comedy tour, is going to be June 1st through 3rd. That's at Fort Worth, Texas, the Hyenas Comedy Club. Make sure you come check that out. Thank you, Texas, for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who came out to my shows this tour. This was crazy. Thank you very much. Also, big news, Chris came through, got a studio.
What?
It's been very exciting. What do you mean?
Can we talk?
Yeah, why not? Why can't we talk about that?
Don't tell him where it's at yet.
I'm not saying where it's at. I'm just saying, we pressed Chris to come through and make this shit official, get a nice studio that we could maybe put a couple bucks in, make it look really nice, and eventually start setting up loudspeakers, television. And Chris came through. I was very excited with the situation. We went and checked out the studio
area?
last week. Yeah, good area that you're familiar with.
We can never tell them where it's at simply because a lot of people don't know taxes in jail. And
so they want to try to come from.
Yeah, so you're just going to keep that a secret as always.
Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. I think we can do some cool things. I think we'll put a little money in. Chris, we could cough up a little money. And,
a couple bucks.
All right, Chris is going to put a couple bucks in, and we could make a nice little studio out of there and start putting the visuals for these podcasts together and change the game a little bit. Thank you guys, everybody who's been watching the full podcast episodes on YouTube, youtube.com/TheAndrewSchultz. You could check those out right now. People seem to really like the whole video podcast, which is dope.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay, explain what.
Once again, we're having a Brilliant Idiots meeting on air, of course. But
Sure.
I think we should live stream it.
That's the next
in full.
That's the next step.
I don't know if we should post the whole. I think if they want to see it in full, they should watch it in real time. I think we should still continue to post clips. Only because I feel like the clips do more numbers than I see like the whole joints do.
Well, we get that's
you can't monetize. You can't monetize the what?
You can. Yeah, you can. So I mean, we could get into the numbers of it, but essentially, it won't affect. We wouldn't do anything that would take away from the numbers that we do on a podcast. Only add to the numbers that we do on a podcast. So, what I think is. And I'm talking to some streaming companies right now about possibly streaming it. There's Twitch as a possibility. So I'm in conversations with these people about streaming an episode live, or what you can do now is you can stream it at a certain time, right? So you can record the whole episode and say, hey, we're going to stream it live at this time, and then get in the conversation with them. Like
that's what I did when I did Adam Carolla. When I did Adam Carolla, he was like, yo, be here at this time. It was like a TV show.
Yeah,
it starts at this time. Everybody tuned in. They ran the ads.
Exactly.
And then still put the podcast out later. So they kind of eating twice.
That's exactly what we want to do. We want to make sure everything that all those views on YouTube get credited for our listens, get credited. So we just want to build in every different sphere. At least that's the way I'm going about it. And eventually what I want to do is I want to make this a TV network. There's no reason why it can't be.
I mean, we got the content.
We got the content. Content is king, right?
Content.
There's nothing more important
content
than content.
Content is the king, the queen, the prince, the princess.
Shit, it's the best.
And we don't do nothing without content.
And really, all we are is content. Yes. We don't have the visuals. We don't have any graphics. We got nothing but content.
Audio content. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? We have nothing. We don't have any cartoons. We have nothing like that. It's just the content. And it's just like story with a movie. If you have a great story, the movie doesn't need $100 million budget.
I agree.
Give me $100,000.
Get out.
Get out. Boom. So we want to create the Get Out of TV networks that is, all based on podcasts. And then we start putting out our own TV stuff. Then we start putting out our own shows on the network. I mean, a lot of big things can happen. I'm just very excited.
Remind me to tell you something about Get Out, too, before the podcast is over.
All right, bet. I will.
But the Black Privilege, I'm going back out on the road. The book has been on the New York Times bestsellers list for the past 4 weeks. Hey. I don't know if it made it this week because we're taping this on the day that it comes out. We taped on Wednesday. The podcast comes out on Thursday. Mm-hmm. But either way, it's still a New York Times bestseller regardless. The book is doing great. So I'm going to be in Concord, North Carolina, which is right outside of Charlotte. I'm going to be there on May 31st. I'm going to be at the Books A Million in Concord Mills Mall at 6 p.m. Okay, so my homegirl, Miss Jessica from Power 98, she's moderating that event. I'm going to be in Miami, Florida on June 1st at the Barnes & Nobles, 12405 North Kendall Drive at 6 p.m. K Fox is moderating that for me. Salute to K Fox.
Oh, hi, K.
And on June 2nd, I'll be in Houston, Texas at the Barnes & Noble, 5303 FM, 1960 West at 6 p.m. And then on June 4th, I'll be at the Jacob Javits Center at BookCon. I got my own table. I'll be signing at table 9 at 12:15 p.m. And then I'll be with Kevin Hart on the main stage at 4 p.m., interviewing him about his new book. And on June 8th, I'll be at the Hudson News at Penn Station at 3 p.m. in New York. And on June 9th, I'll be at the Barnes & Nobles, 1805 Walnut Street in Philadelphia.
Okay.
At 6 p.m. June 9th. Yeah, June 9th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Barnes & Nobles, 1805 Walnut Street, 6 p.m. But worry about next week. May 31st, Concord, North Carolina, Books A Million, 6 p.m., Concord Mills Mall. Then Miami, Florida, June 1st, Barnes & Nobles on Kendall Drive at 6 p.m. And June 2nd, Barnes & Nobles, Houston,
SeeTheBook.com. What is it?
Yeah, SeeTheBook.com for more details. CTHABOOK.com.
I saw one of the craziest documentaries I've ever seen in my entire life on HBO.
About what?
It's called Mommy Dead, Mommy Dearest. Have you read about this? This shit was unfucking believable. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, basically, this girl kills her mom with her boyfriend. Right?
What you mean?
Shout out to Wax. Says hot.
What's wrong with you?
I'm thinking, and you know what Munchausen by proxy is?
No.
So it's
that should sound like some shit that Chris's wife cooks. Munchausen what?
Munchausen by proxy. That sounds like Asian
dish,
food?
right?
Munchausen by proxy. Anyway, it's basically when a mom or a dad, I haven't heard any times the dads do it, but where a mom or dad trying to kind of convinces the kid that they're sick and is always trying to cure the kid, always trying to help the kid feel better.
So the kid's always dependent on him?
So the kid's always dependent.
Gotcha.
So this is the most severe case in history. The mom forges medical records to get a fucking feeding tube put in her. Tells her that she has leukemia when she doesn't have leukemia. The chick's going through radiation treatment when she doesn't even have fucking cancer. The daughter is... Dude, it's unbelievable.
What's wrong with the mom? She don't got no husband or something? Clearly, no boyfriend, no husband.
There's no husband, of course, but she's a psychopath. The mom is an absolute psychopath. The mom convinces the daughter that the daughter can't walk. So the daughter's in a fucking wheelchair her entire life outside. She's literally rolling around. They go on Disney Make-A-Wish. You know when you're about to die and Disney pays for you or this company pays for you to go to Disney World and see all the Disney princesses and that kind of shit like that? Dude, it's the most unbelievable thing in the world. So it brings up this interesting argument where when the daughter kills the mom, is it
justified?
It's okay.
Self-defense?
Yeah.
Is it justified?
What made the mom flip?
Yeah,
what made the daughter flip? What made her finally say enough's enough?
She got some dick.
Yeah.
Dead ass, bro. She got dick down, dude.
I cannot be a prisoner in this house when this dick is on the outside.
I can walk.
Bro, man. Listen, dude. That's why, that's why they don't let those terrorists have fuck, bro. That's why they say the virgins are in heaven. Once they start getting pussy now, they're not going to want to kill themselves.
But I can also see why that would drive a person crazy. Because if you've been lying to me this whole time and like you've taken so much of my life from me, and then when I finally realize like I can really walk and this is really a world out here,
and there's dick out there,
you gonna bug out.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck that.
Anyway, it's called Mommy Dead, Mommy Dearest.
I've been tuned into American Gods.
Yeah. What is that? The Stars show, right?
It's amazing. I mean, I read the book like 6 years ago.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. Somebody recommended me the book American Gods like 6 years ago, and it was interesting how.
What
it
is
came
it about? What is it? What's the whole thing?
Well, they haven't quite introduced this on the TV show yet, and even in the book when you read it, it didn't get revealed in later chapters. But American Gods is basically about the old gods versus the new gods. So literally, Thor and Loki and Hercules and Zeus are at war with the internet and lust and money. Nice. So and they're really and even on the show, like, they're old. And in
Thor is old.
Yeah, they're older. But the new guys are young and flashy and fly. Like, the internet is riding around in dope ass cars, and you got these minions. Like, it's dope. Like, I'm not even gonna front. Like, the TV show is even better than I remember the book being. And the book I remember the book being good.
Yeah.
But the TV show is even better than I remember the book being.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I don't read a lot of fiction either. And by the way, most of the fiction I read ends up turning into TV shows.
I don't read that.
It's weird. Like, I remember reading all the Charlene Harris, Suki Stackhouse novels because my wife was reading them, and then that turned into True Blood on HBO, and now American Gods is like amazing. The only thing I hate about American Gods is I can't binge watch it. I can't do regular watching TV no more.
Dude,
that shit sucks.
You know what? I was thinking about this. I don't think it sucks, and I'll tell you why. Because when you don't binge, I don't think it sucks for a network, but it's very hard to pull off. When you don't binge, you control the conversation for a much longer period of time. So House of Cards is going to come out this coming Tuesday, the new season, right? We're all going to watch that shit from Tuesday to Sunday, and then it will be out of the conversation within 2 weeks. Game of Thrones will dominate the conversation for the 7 straight weeks that it's on air, plus more after. Westworld, when that came out, people were doing hour-long videos on YouTube with their fan theories on why this person is this and why this character is that. That doesn't happen on a streaming show because you run the risk of, one, exposing what happens in the show to people who haven't watched it. So it's a different... I agree, streaming is better because the show doesn't need to be as good, right? I have it right here. It's right next to me. Yeah, I'll just have it a little more.
You're not disappointed when you take it all in. Now, I understand what you're saying. I think the conversation is just different. I think Westworld and Game of Thrones, they create a conversation every week.
Yeah.
But I think those other shows that are on Netflix and stuff, they create a conversation.
It's just shorter. That's what I'm saying. And if you're a network, I would think that you would want the conversation to last for a longer period of time because you're dominating the airwaves right there. Like, when you got a huge interview or something like that, like, obviously with the Whitlock or even with Baby, with Birdman, you know what I mean? That conversation, you were able to stretch out for longer than just one interview.
It lives longer. Yeah. But I'll tell you why, Gerard, we had Gerard Carmichael on and Little Rel this week, and Gerard was saying how the Carmichael show has gotten bigger now that it's on Netflix. Because people can watch it whenever they want, and they're binging it all weekend, so it lives. Like, it's still living because it's online. Yeah. Like, people, they may not be watching it every week, but it's living on Netflix, so people can watch it whenever they want.
So funny, I had a conversation with... what does binge mean? Yeah. Binge means just to watch a lot. Watch like one after another.
Like, you know how like you fuck a lot of fat girls?
Yeah.
Like, say if you fuck 4 fat girls in a weekend wax, that's binging on fat girls.
I would also say that
fat girls?
Those fat girls binge, that's why they're fat.
Yes.
They binge on food, you binge on fat girls.
Yes,
it's a beautiful cycle of life.
It's a big cycle of binging. Yes.
It's really great when you think about it. It's like cows eat all the grass, and then we eat the cows.
Yes, exactly.
So we're really just eating grass when you think about it.
You know what? I'm going to stop calling your girls fat. I'm going to call them organic.
Bingers.
Organic.
Healthy.
They're organic. Okay. And you said you was talking to who?
I talked to Gerard in a diner once, and we were talking about the effectiveness of a Netflix special because he did his special with HBO. And I was like, you just got to put it on. He disagreed with what he said to you, essentially. He was like, if it's hot, people will find it. And I'm like, no. It can be hot and people won't find it because of the restriction of a network. Netflix puts in a position where it's at your convenience. If you only play a show at 9 p.m., they got to watch that shit at 9 p.m. But Netflix is you watch it when you want to watch it.
Yeah.
When does the Gerard Carmichael show come on this week? Whenever the fuck you got time.
Yeah, that's what I said. The shows can live longer on Netflix, and it's up to me. Like, appointment setting don't do it for me, bro. I have not watched. First of all, I don't even know when American Gods comes on Stars.
Yeah.
I've watched American Gods on
I'll tell you
demand.
one better. I don't know what channel Stars is. I got no fucking clue. If you like turn on Stars, I'd be like, what?
Listen, I always got to search Power. I got to search American Gods. I cannot go to what number it is. Absolutely not. And real quick about Get Out. You know,
but
Little Rel had equity in Get Up.
He better have.
That was like that. See, I love people who think like that because the budget was only $4 million.
Of
So they
course.
probably came to Rel and was like, yo,
Do it on
we'll
the
offer
strength.
you 10,000, 50,000. He was like, yo, just give me some back end money. So all his money comes on the back end. The movie made $200 million.
Oh, Rel's good.
Rel is the girl. Rel is the guy you try to get pregnant, ladies. All right? Okay. Yes, I meant
Rel is a ball player.
Yes, get Rel pregnant. All right. Rel needs to be trapped, and he needs to be trapped immediately.
Okay, what did he get from it?
I don't know. I didn't ask him the details. Because I was just talking to him. I was like, yo, did you get back in from Get Out?
Yeah.
Because it only made sense.
Why? You knew it. You're like, there's not enough in the budget.
It's a $4 million. Like, why would you take that check?
Rel hasn't done so much with his career that he could ask for back end, to be honest with you.
But a company would give it to you. It's nothing. Think
Instead of giving you a big lump sum. Well, then again, he is on a network show, so he does have a quote for a day rate. Yeah, it makes sense.
$4 million. If the budget's $4 million, they probably could afford to pay Rel 10, maybe 15, maybe 20. Who doesn't want to save 20 grand? Like, look, man, you know what I mean? Just give me 2%, 3%, 5%. I don't know what he got. I don't know. Whatever it was goddamn worth it at the end of the day.
I wonder if that's the new way to do it.
That's always been the way to do it.
Real quick, what you just said, though, is interesting. You just look for power. You just look for, what is it, when you're looking
American
for the show.
Gods.
Exactly. But how interesting is that? Is like, we've already changed the way we watch TV.
Yeah.
We're not going to a network. We are going to the search function, and we're putting in the show that we want to watch.
It's about the content. Back in the day, it used to be about the network.
Exactly.
Back in the day, it used to be like, what's on NBC tonight?
What's
MTV?
on ABC? What channel's ESPN?
What new show MTV got coming? I don't give a fuck. It's all about the content.
So when it comes to that ESPN, I got some info on the ESPN firing that was kind of ill.
What happened?
So basically what happened, you know how ESPN laid off all those folks, right? So I was like, why the fuck did they do that? I don't understand why they're doing it. So ESPN signs these billion-dollar deals with the NFL and the NBA. Right? But what's happening is, like we've all probably been doing, is everybody's cutting their cable. Right? They're not paying. I don't want cable anymore. I don't need cable anymore. I'll go directly to Netflix. I'll go directly to Hulu. I'll watch all my shit on YouTube, all that shit. Right? Exactly. League Pass. So what's happening is they still got to pay out these $1 billion to the leagues, but all their revenue that comes from TV is down the fucking drain. Right? So now they're hemorrhaging money. They're just bleeding fucking money. So ESPN is part of Disney, and Disney's stock is taking a huge fucking dip because of ESPN specifically. So when they fired all those people, apparently all their salaries together is 15% of one Monday Night Football game. They're not saving no money. It was just a look for the people who own Disney stock so that they wouldn't sell it. It was like, hey, we are making changes. Trust us. The stocks will go up. All it was a fake investor pitch. It saved no fucking money.
Really?
They still got to address the situation. They got to find a different way to get people to watch stuff.
Shit.
Isn't that crazy that...
But how you even know all this? Like, who told you this?
I was speaking to a guy who got fired.
That's the best motherfucker to talk to.
Exactly. I was like, damn, you got to know somebody who got fired or something.
He
like
can't.
that.
A motherfucker like that can't wait to spill the beans.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's right. He's probably said. So what do we do when we create? Is it not even worth to create shit for TV anymore?
Man, true story. This literally just happened last week. My homegirl Dolly, salute to Dolly. Me and Dolly create a lot of content together. And Dolly hit me up about an idea. And, you know, we sent it over to Karen, my manager, and Karen immediately replies back, what network do y'all see this for? And my reply back is, don't worry about what network. Let's just create dope content. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
It's plenty of platforms and networks and places that you can take dope content. Yeah. Everybody needs content. I don't care. It could be streaming. It could be motherfucking networks. I don't know and I don't care. That's not that's not what we should be thinking about. Yeah. Create dope content.
And put it in a place where the market can decide. Like, that's the problem with some networks. Is sometimes the content can be dope, but not enough people see it for you to get an accurate representation of the market.
We really do live in the if you build it, they'll come era, though.
But we do, but there are situations like Breaking Bad, right? The only reason Breaking Bad popped off is because it was on Netflix.
I don't even know what network Breaking Bad comes on.
Exactly. AMC gave it 3 seasons, nothing happened. They dropped it on Netflix, and it became a sensation. And then all of a sudden, AMC was able to recoup every little bit of their money and make tons because we found it on Netflix. And that's a perfect example of, luckily, a network stayed with it because they believe in the show, but that's a perfect example of the market decided when you gave them a place to see it. It's like if you're trying to sell mixtapes, right? but you're doing it in a place that nobody owns a CD player, you're not going to sell any mixtapes. You got to put it in a place where people see it. You got to go to Times Square. You got to get an accurate representation of the market. Yeah. And that's what the internet does. If the shit is on YouTube, nothing has popped on YouTube yet, but I think it's about time where someone will put...
You mean like a TV show hasn't popped on YouTube?
Shit, maybe you're right. You know, what is it? Money and Violence. So Money and Violence popped on YouTube.
Money and Violence did good. I mean, there's a lot of different things that are popping on YouTube, though.
Sitcom or drama.
Oh,
full
yeah,
length.
yeah.
But it's about time. It's going to happen.
Has anybody really done a real produced one, though?
Well, that's the crazy thing about production. The one barrier of entry for production, historically, has always been the cost. I got to get a camera. This camera's worth $100,000. Where am I going to get $100,000 for a camera? I got to get film. Yeah. Film's $200,000. Where am I going to get $200,000 film? Right now, we got 4 cameras in here. You don't even need film because you can stream right to YouTube.
Absolutely.
The cost of production has gone down
I mean, but you could do that kind of show. Like, you know who does a dope show on YouTube? I don't even know if it's YouTube, but it's a website. TheCheddar.com.
What's that?
It's like this news show. I did it like a couple weeks ago in promotion of my book. Like, it's literally like in the middle of the city. Like, they're literally in like a Sprint store. Like, you walk in the Sprint store and they're in the back.
You see people in the back, whatever.
He punked you.
Remember the guy downstairs?
Oh, yeah, white dude punk white. Whites are getting punked by white people left and right. They trying his ass.
Yo, we're getting cocky, man.
No, they're not playing. They're not playing with his ass. They're not playing. He was down there taking a piss. The dude walked in while he was in the stall holding his dick and said, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" And then told him, "Put that thing away. Hurry up and put that thing away."
Man, come on.
Yes. I told him knocking the fuck out of you.
They ain't say all that.
Was he joking? Was the white guy joking or was it 100%?
It was dead serious. I've never seen you down here before. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't never seen you either.
He's, I never seen you or that thing in your hand down here before. That's what he told him. That's what the fuck he told him.
He did not see my meat at all.
Then this weekend, some white dudes rode up on him with guns and asked him, "What the fuck is he doing here?
What the fuck are you doing here?"
Where was this?
In Carolina. I was getting my I'm switching my birdhouse out.
By the way, I'm shocked Wax don't get this more. He's 6'4", 250 pounds.
I just know how to stay out the way.
Everywhere he goes, he looks like he's not supposed to be there.
Always.
Yeah, where is he supposed to be? I'm trying to figure out.
That's a good question.
I be trying to stay out the way as much as possible. I put my head down in every picture for a reason. I'm not there.
But I want to know what environment would work. Like, I think Guardians of the Galaxy would work for Wax. Like, you know, in these.
I've never seen these things. That's what I'm not saying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, these alien movies where everybody's just odd looking. That would be a perfect scenario.
How am I odd looking? I got arms. I got fingers.
You're odd looking because of your choice of dress.
Look at you.
Who looks weirder? Who looks weirder? You're wearing a size small shirt. You have a tiny ass shirt.
I don't have a fucking tiny shirt on.
I should never be able to see your armpit hair coming out your sleeve.
Before we continue this conversation, I need to know what the fuck is a boogler.
I said a burglar.
No, you did. You said a boogler.
I look like a burglar? First of all, no, I want to talk about this. First of all, you did say boogler, okay?
Burglar.
Second of all, you're the only person here that actually has done burglary, so you know how a burglar dresses, and you damn sure ain't dressed like me when you did that shit.
You don't know. I put on all black.
What am I wearing?
All black.
I'm wearing gray.
With red socks. That gave
First
you
of all, where
you
with
the red socks? I'm just gonna say.
All right, when you're stealing some shit, what I want to know is where you're gonna hide it in your tight ass jeans and tight ass shirt.
I take it. I don't steal shit.
And then he wonder why gay guys keep hitting on him.
Ain't no gay guys hit on me. That's one guy.
Now it's one. First it was none. Now it's one.
Because you know he gonna tell a story.
Ain't no gay guys. That was one guy. Listen, all that.
He gonna tell a story anyway. That's all he wants.
It was two.
Who the second one?
The guy in the store.
You did that shit.
No, hold up.
No, three. Matter of fact, three.
Charlotte made me picture me the dude, Joe.
Yo,
you be picture me the dude, Joe.
I gotta tell you some crazy ass shit.
Okay.
Yo, times have changed, bro.
Maybe he know you.
Times have fucking changed. Let me tell you what happened. I'm in Comics at Foxwoods. I'm doing a show.
Okay.
Up in the casino. We're at the casino bar outside the comedy club. Me, my boy Jack. Jack is 6'6". 2 other dudes. They're about like 6'2". 4 of us are sitting there, right? All of a sudden, this 5'6" dude walks up, puts his arm around me, and puts his arm around me and goes, "Hey, I'm Todd."
Nice.
I go, "What's up, Todd? How you doing?" He goes, "I just wanted to say hi to you guys, and I just think you all look incredibly sexy."
Goddamn right, Todd.
I go,
shoot your shot.
All right, Todd, this is wild. This is cool. Then he goes, "And I'm going to be honest with you. I would have sex with all of you."
There you go, Todd.
I go, what's going on? No. Then, and he has a Boston accent. I've never heard gay and Boston accent together. And he starts going. He goes, "I would have sex with you." And then he points at my friend and he goes, "Oh, I want you on top."
There you go,
I
Todd.
want you on top.
Shoot
Now,
your goddamn shot,
Nah,
Todd.
he ain't shooting your shot. That's
Justify the
disrespectful.
fuck out of these
Is that
men.
being disrespectful? Or he put his
Real
hands
talk.
on you. That's rape.
Real talk. He put his hands on. Now
he's
it's
molesting
rape.
you.
My man out
He's
here.
not molested.
Hold on.
If that was a girl, if you did that to a girl, she's uncomfortable, you going to jail.
It's wildly uncomfortable. But here's my issue with it. How confident?
Put his hand on you. That's rape.
How confident are you that we're not homophobic?
He don't give a fuck.
He's 5'6". We were, I'm not gonna lie. That guy's gonna get beat up by somebody. I hope it doesn't happen. But someone's gonna beat up. You can't just roll up on 4 dudes, emasculate the fuck out of them, say how you want to get fucked.
By
You
the way,
can't tell me how you want to get fucked.
You kinda gotta chill out.
When guys roll up on girls and they're like, "Oh, you got a fat ass, whatever," you run the risk of getting slapped. A girl might be like, "You don't talk to me like that."
Yeah, but a girl could slap me and then what happens?
It's okay though.
Still a
Then
slap.
I just grab her, throw her away, and it's
No, you
over.
don't do nothing. She smack you because you did something wrong. You just let her.
I'm gonna grab her hands so she can't slap me no
Forget
more.
the smack.
No,
She
you're
might
not.
call the police.
Ouch.
Like
Yeah.
what that guy did to y'all could be considered sexual
So
harassment.
I don't know
He
if
did.
maybe I'm dressing a certain way.
So
Maybe
what
I'm
boy did
asking
to me
for
is
it.
definitely sexual harassment.
Yo, last
Which
night.
one?
Which one you
boy?
set me up with?
Which one? Because you got my guy in L.A. I ever told you that story?
No.
We was in L.A. at a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle press junket, right? And I'm having a conversation with my guy, and my guy is an old flamer. Now I'm talking about like an old flame, not even young. So he's sitting there in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah.
Wax walks in and he goes, "Ooh."
Bebop and Rocksteady.
he goes, "Is that your brother? I've never seen him in a t-shirt."
Oh my
and
God!
I go,
I'm not
"Wax,
paying
come
no.
here."
Yeah, he set
now,
me up. I
mind
don't know
you,
what's going on.
Wax,
You know what?
listen,
Let me say this. he did more than that. It's more than he did.
Listen, Wax is looking for a bank, right? Wax is looking for a bank the whole time.
Yeah.
He
Looking
banks
for
the
the
chase. So he walks over.
Little did you know you would be getting chased.
Listen,
Literally, listen.
My guy says to him, "Ooh," I go, hey, Wax, my guy think you cute. And Wax goes, "Yo, man, I don't want no problems. I'm just looking for a chase." And he goes, "A chase? I love a good chase.
Yo, nah.
I'll chase you anyway."
I'm like, yo, man, I'm good, man. Listen, let's get out of the way. Because if you beat somebody up, then I get a hate crime. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, first of all, yeah, you don't need to beat him up, but there is a fucking fine line, right? Like, you know how aren't you afraid to hit on a girl like you would in the 90s? Like in the
don't even holler at
90s,
girls
me and
no
my
more.
boys would walk down Broadway in Manhattan. We were ruthless.
Yeah.
We would do, hey, who could get the most numbers? Let's
Yeah,
go get
touch your butt. I
Hey, what's
grabbed
up,
butts
ma?
before
Or
when
you
I was
at least
young.
gra- you
Rape
might
culture.
you were grabbing arm. It was straight rape culture. We just
Rape
called it
culture.
culture.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how
But
that's
women
what
do it
usually
now,
called.
though.
Now, yesterday I'm walking down the street.
Somebody grab your butt.
This little Latino dude is
Grab
walking
your
down the
butt.
street.
You called me a Toby. You
Looks
touch
at
your
me, and he just goes.
I love
look,
it, man.
son. I look around.
I love
I
it.
don't,
Bro,
man. Fuck
I look
that.
around because
don't
I
want that
can't
shit.
imagine this is happening.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
This is
why
happening.
would you
This is
think-
really happening.
Yes,
love
possible.
it.
Yo, listen, I got this guy in the gym. I go to the gym, right?
All I'm
And
saying,
he-
you can't be kissing. Guys should not do that shit to women. For the first time in my life, I was like, man, we got to stop
women
treating these
like
women
it. Women
crazy on the
enjoy it.
street,
That's my
bro.
point.
It's a
We
book.
gotta-
It's a book I read.
we gotta start treating our
No, they
queens
don't.
better.
Women do enjoy
Women don't
it.
enjoy it. Stop saying
Yo, if
that.
you don't give no girl no attention, she go home and be like, damn, I got all dressed up. I
All
look
women
all
don't
good.
enjoy it. All women don't enjoy it. Stop it.
Yo, Wax is
All
the type of dude to be like, Your Honor, she waxed her pussy. I had to fuck her
Let me
against
tell
her
you something,
will.
Andrew. If it's one motherfucker,
What am I
hold on.
supposed to do?
You know-
Let her
how-
pussy be shaved
You know
and
how
not
we
fuck
say?
her?
You know how we
She
say
put
for
that
the
nice dress
culture?
on.
You know how we say
I'm
for
gonna
the culture?
compliment her.
Wax ain't letting rape culture go.
No,
Wax is
no,
gonna be
wait,
the
wait,
last
wait,
man
wait,
standing
wait.
when it comes to rape culture.
Why?
Wax.
I don't mind complimenting the girl.
No, you just you want to harass them. You can't harass them.
Whoa. When I harass them, let me hear it.
What is a compliment to you?
I don't even talk to girls no more. You're right. I don't know what to say.
That's
Exactly.
what you can't say nothing.
I don't say anything no more. I don't know what to say. I never know what to say.
Yo, but something
I ain't got no
shifted in
game.
society where it's allowed to happen to us, man.
I read a book
and I
20
feel
years
bad
ago.
for what I said to women these
Let me
days.
hear what
man.
you
I
say.
really
Let me
did.
hear a line you say.
What I say to women?
Yeah.
I say consent. I was like, do you consent to me talking to you right now? Is there something, may I consent? I
Man,
just
you
say
don't do
consent.
that. That ain't
That's
no
all I
game,
do. I
man.
just say
Come on.
consent.
What is-
I don't
what can
kick
you
game
say?
anymore. That's
what I'm
sexual
saying. So
harassment.
game is sexual harassment then.
I'm
us
married.
having game back in the. I mean, us having game back in the day is basically sexual harassment.
No,
then.
the things you used to do back in the day was
No,
sexual
no.
harassment. There's a lot of guys out here that
Nah,
know how to
man.
talk to women.
Like who?
They're chivalrous.
Chris, how you talk to a lady, Chris? What's the first thing you say to the lady?
Wax does stuff like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody be like, yo, take a picture. So Wax will get the camera, and Wax, he used to do this all the time. He'll take the picture, and then when the girl looked at the picture, all he did was take a picture of her breast, or her feet, or some stupid shit. Like
I don't know
some
how to
dumb
take
shit.
pictures.
Yeah, okay. All right, don't know how to take pictures. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I don't know how to take pictures. I never do.
Listen, I read a book 20 years ago called From Niggas to Gods by Akil. And in the book, he talked about how it was going to come a day where men were going to objectify other men the way we've always objectified women.
Cool.
So he said you need to start monitoring your karma now. And his exact words in the book was, what you gonna do when a motherfucker like a Mike that's built like Mike Tyson walks up to you, smacks you on the ass, and says, what's up, hot stuff?
Bro,
knock you out.
This guy was 5'6" and he did that shit to us.
See what I'm saying?
Imagine he's wax size. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do if a guy is 6'2"? How tall are you, Wax?
I don't know.
6'2", 250, he comes up next to me and goes, I want you on top.
You gonna suck that dick?
No, I'm not gonna suck that dick.
Knock you the fuck out.
The same way Wax used to walk up to girls in clubs and hit them in the ribs and be like, come here.
Come on, let's go. Come on, we out here.
See, there you go again. It's bullshit.
Yo, imagine dudes are walking up. Yo, imagine a dude walks up to the street, hits you in the ribs like, come on, dog, we going.
You know what this is.
Hey, come on. Hey, I want to hear it.
I want to hear
it. You better scream.
That's why I always say homophobia. To me, I feel like people are homophobic because they're afraid of their own karma. They're afraid that a man is going to objectify them the way they've objectified women all these years.
But what if I haven't objectified? Well, I have objectified women, but I don't think there's anything wrong with objectifying women.
Explain. You can't just make that statement in 2017.
Nah, because at the end of the day,
I think women.
we trying to have sex
I
with
think
them,
the
right?
problem is objectifying women that you don't know.
Hold on, for a second. Everybody listen. Don't just go with the headline.
Yeah.
Listen to the details. Why do you think it's okay to objectify women, Andrew?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with objectifying women was a statement. And what I mean is, if you know that woman, you have a relationship with that woman, matter of fact, you must objectify her because she will be insulted if you don't.
You mean if that's your girl or
if
something?
that's your girl.
Yeah.
If you,
That's different,
Chris,
though.
if you don't objectify your wife, she gonna cheat on you with the guy who's gonna objectify.
He's using
When was the last time a woman cheated on a man with a guy who was a good listener?
Tell me what objectifying is, though.
Objectifying means you're reducing a woman to only her body parts.
Exactly. Like sometimes you gotta look at her butt and be like, You just gotta do that. You gotta grab and slap it a little
But
bit.
that's what your girl or your wife. You don't do that to regular everyday
or
women.
girl you're seeing. What I'm saying is the issue is when you take that to a woman you don't have that relationship with.
Okay, understand.
But we can't take. I don't think we could take not objectifying a woman too far because honestly it will make them uncomfortable. I want a woman on some level to objectify me. I want a woman to look at my dick and then just
You
be like,
want a
so
woman to
happy.
listen.
Oh my god, I need that inside of me. I'm salivating.
I love when my wife walks up to me and just grabs my dick.
Yo, objectify me.
You definitely
I have no problem with that.
But build a trust. Objectification is about trust.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, so you need to
I
walk
can
up
trust
to a
her
girl in the
enough.
street and be like, yo, do you trust me?
So what you saying if you want to
She
objectify?
says, yeah. Then you grab that pussy, bro. That's what you
but you
do.
got the titties first. Start with the titties.
No. If you want to objectify a woman, marry her. All right?
That's too much. That's too much, man.
Crazy.
That's not right. That's not right.
What the fuck is
That's
wrong
not
with
right.
this guy?
Yeah, marriage isn't right.
Yo,
I'm just saying.
that's the part. That's the part that's wrong.
Listen, how you gonna marry her unless you even know if you can even objectify her or not? You gotta know if you even do that.
You guys
marry
gotta
her,
both
and then
know-
she grabs her butt and then she gonna call the cops on you.
Exactly.
She
You
ain't
gotta
like that.
both
So why would
know.
you marry?
Some
You
of
gotta know
us
what's
trying to
going
keep
on.
real hip hop alive. Guys like Wax is trying to keep real rape culture alive, man.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
We got women here.
I gotta
Don't you?
figure this out.
Don't you want to come over here? Because you always talk
Come
far
here,
from the
Shantia.
thing.
You want a
Come on,
guy
let's
to
go.
have game,
Come here,
right?
Shantia.
You want a guy to
we got
try.
extra mic. We got extra
Shantia
mic.
is one of our prize interns, star interns. She goes
Just
to
graduated.
St. Peter's University. No. Yeah, St. Peter's University in Jersey.
All right.
She just graduated.
Yep, on Monday.
Oh, congratulations.
Happy congratulations,
Thanks.
graduates. What's your degree in, Shantia?
Bachelor's in Communications and Concentration in Business.
Okay.
Okay, communication and business. All right, so you're gonna be a waiter for a minute. So look,
Don't do that. I'm
it's
trying to
okay.
flourish
It's part
out
of it,
here.
man. It's part of it. It's part of it,
I'm
bro.
trying to flourish. I know it's a grind, but I'm trying to flourish.
if you said engineer, I'd be like, yo, she's about to be good, man. She's gonna work for Elon Musk.
It's not a waste.
The second you said communication, it was a wrap. Okay,
Look, I'm trying to
no, but
flourish out
she got a bachelor's real quick in communication. Let's talk
right,
about
that's cool.
communication. How should a man properly objectify you, and would you, or do you even want a man to objectify you?
If like we're in a relationship,
What about you dating a guy?
I'm first coming to holler at you. What's the correct thing to say to you?
be like, hey, how are you doing? How's your day? Not I'm trying to whistle down the street trying to objectify me.
That's right.
So I'm like, yo, come here, let me holler at you.
No,
Yeah, but some girls don't like that
No,
either.
I actually have a story for you. I have a story
Real
for
quick before you tell the story, just want to ask a question.
Okay.
So you would prefer? So you said a guy can't go yo. Now
you.
let's
You
just
could say
come
yo
here.
yo yo, but you're approaching already
geographically
off.
speaking. you're far away.
Right.
He wants to get your attention because I think it's safer for a guy that waxes size not to run down the street after you.
That
is fucking frightening. A guy 6'4", 250 running down the street in Get Out style.
And that literally just happened to me.
A guy ran after you.
Okay, so here's the story. All right, so the story is it was Mother's Day. And, I was going to the floors for my mom to get a nice bouquet of roses.
Yeah.
So, I'm locked in the car, about to walk in, and this guy, like, from across the street runs up on me. He's like, hey, Ma, excuse me. I'm like, what the F are you doing?
You scared?
Yeah.
I was scared because me, like, I have an instinct, like, if someone comes close to me, I'm going to punch him in the face. But I don't want to do that 'cause I'm not trying to catch a case out here. So I'm like,
no, you won't. Your girl's the hitman.
Right. I'm not trying to do that. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just want to talk to you real quick. I'm like, well, this ain't it. Mind you, this guy look over, like he's pushing 50 all the way, receding hairline. I'm like, you're doing too much. And then as I'm walking to the store, he's still following me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you need to stop. And I felt uncomfortable. I was calling my mom like, yo, like, I felt really uncomfortable. And she's like, are you okay? And mind you, I don't keep no pepper spray, nothing on me. So
you got to trust your instinct.
I was wearing a Wu-Tang shirt, some distressed jeans, and some sandals.
You got to trust your instinct.
So you didn't feel like you were dressed for objectification that day?
No.
So
I don't mean to say, like, you don't have to wear, if you wear certain things, obviously people are going to approach you differently. Yeah. But I'm dressed regular as hell.
Can I say something?
So yeah, you go.
Listen,
that's a
because
good point.
You know what? A girl might go to her friends like, oh my God, this guy ran from across the street. I was so, like, she probably was being so excited that this dude ran all the way across the street for her, though.
Wax swear every girl is so excited to meet him.
I
want Wax confidence. I want Wax confidence.
But Wax, you gotta remember, if it was someone that was
Wax the type of girl.
No,
real talk.
It was an attractive guy.
No, listen. If it was
Wax the type of guy. Wax the type of guy that will pick a girl up. She's fighting to get the fuck off of him, and they'll be like, yo, this girl loves wrestling, yo.
She loves
wrestling, man. Why she love wrestling so much,
no,
man?
Wax,
So
listen,
silly.
You keep talking to me about some girl he keeps wrestling.
I don't.
You kept telling me that.
Yes. Bullshitting.
You told me about some girl.
Okay,
that's funny.
You have to be big, I'm sure.
Look, if it was someone that was around my age
favorite
or
word,
in the same class, I'd like be like, all right, cool. Like, they're on the same age, like on the same mindset, cool. But
if he was attractive, you wouldn't mind. You'll tell your girls, oh my God, this guy ran me all the way down.
We can't be honest.
You shouldn't let your guard down like that just because they look familiar to you, though. Just because they're your age, you shouldn't let.
No, I always have my guard up at all times, but I would be a little bit more comfortable than someone 45 pushing 50 just running up on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always have my guard up at all times, but just your approach is everything. Like the approach is just all the way off. Like if I wasn't have the instinct like that, I could have pepper sprayed him.
Word up, relax, Grandpa.
I'm like, you're wilding out.
Yeah, that's why you need to whistle at girls from afar. Let them know that you're coming, and then they won't be nervous.
Yep. That's all you're gonna get. I'm gonna keep walking down the block.
No, but at least you'll walk. At least you'll
anyway.
At least you'll know.
Keep walking.
Don't ask me. I walk away.
You walk away.
I walk away. I
want
don't give you attention at all.
Thank you.
I walk away. I don't care who you are. You're 50, 19. I walk away.
Are you single? Are you in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship.
You are in a relationship. Well, that's why you walk away.
No, but if I wasn't in a relationship,
How'd you meet him?
walk
So
away.
let me hear what can he say to you?
Yeah, what's a good approach for a girl like you?
Just don't talk to me. Especially,
These girls want to be alone, bro. Honestly,
let me come to you. I'll come to you. You just wait for
really
it.
don't?
I do because my boyfriend now did not come up to me. I came up to him.
I think it's
So
better
you
off.
objectified him.
I just think it's better off if you have a friendship with someone. A friendship, you guys know each other.
What did you say to him
What did I say?
when you met him?
It was your line.
I was just like, hey, what's up? What are you doing here?
So the same shit a guy says.
You say it to me all the time. So you trying to smash
here we
me?
go.
That's not a bad line, though. Hey, what's up? What are you doing here?
That's normal.
No, but you're weird about it. That's the thing.
talking
You're
about?
weird about it.
Real quick. I just want to say, I want to show how interesting this is. You walk up and say to your boyfriend, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing here?"
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Now, when that kind gentleman said that to Wax in the bathroom, all of a sudden it's weird.
Whoa. Why?
You're taking a pee. The guy goes, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing in here?"
It was the environment.
Whoa.
It was his tone.
It was the environment, though.
They both wanted some dick.
Nah, the guy.
It's the environment.
Let's be honest. Y'all both wanted the same thing, right?
Who told you somebody came to me at the bathroom?
He pulled up on you in the bathroom.
When?
At the cheddar.
At the cheddar.
The guy didn't roll up on you in the bathroom.
Listen, I ain't trying to fuck me. He told me, ask me what I'm doing here. He was like some.
Yeah, you just walk up to some guy in the bathroom and say, "What you doing?"
Exactly.
You know what the fuck he's doing.
It's the environment, though. You
That might have
can't
been
do
one of
that
those
in the bathroom.
You ever seen a movie like Twilight where the guy walking to people like, you got some dust in your eye? Let me blow in your eye. Like that was one. I think that might have been one of those places.
That's assault. She felt uncomfortable.
Come here, Taylor. Get on the mic. I want to get a bigger sample size.
I felt very uncomfortable.
Because right now we're 50-50. Right. How do you feel about men objectifying you? Little young tasty cakes. You can tell she's been objectified in her day.
When you say objectify, as in, give me an example.
Like a yurt.
That's not objectification.
Yes, it is. Because sometimes guys follow you when you do that.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm a woman. Like, come
Thank
up
you.
to me, like, hello, my
No.
name. Introduce yourself.
No.
At all.
No. That's just the other guy. Right now, if I go to a girl and be like, yo, I'm trying to smash you tonight, she gonna smash me. If another guy go to her, whoa. I'm just telling you from experience.
Steph Curry with the rape boy.
Wait.
Steph Curry with the rape boy.
Everybody calm down. Calm down. This is not. Hold on. Everybody relax. This is not a fucking Housewives of Hollywood reunion show. Stop yelling.
Wax is really the king of rape culture, bro.
If Andrew go to you and be like, yo, can I take you out on a date?
That's weird.
We both gonna get you.
That's what I would like.
What do you mean? You're both gonna get them.
Will you stop saying get? That's just weird, bro.
You don't know that. It all depends on girls got two sides to them.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. The girl, she might have a boyfriend. She love him to death, but she over there smashing a guy who just went up to the club that night.
Everyone does
I'm
do
telling you
that.
my experience. I can only tell you through my
I
experience.
can't wait till you meet the side of the girl that pepper sprays you right on the spot.
But why?
And then calls 911.
I don't think that's disrespectful.
You cannot walk up to a girl and say, let me smash you.
Hold on.
I would do that quickly.
She does. And I carry
That's why I
none
don't
of
talk to you.
That's why you be trying.
And I carry none of that.
Listen, certain people shoot their shots different ways. I shoot my shot, be like, yo, what you doing tonight? I'm trying to smash.
Wax don't ask
And
for
girls be
consent
like,
to shoot his shot. He
Right,
just shoots.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What do you mean? How y'all talk to girls? How y'all smash them at the same night?
Andrew, how do you do that?
So you go
How do I talk to a girl?
Trying to bring her to a date?
I say hello.
So you talk to a girl to try to bring her on a
Do you
date?
say your name? Do you say your name? Because I like when a guy says.
Sometimes I will.
My name is blah blah blah.
There you go.
I think you're very beautiful.
Approach is very important.
I'll be honest. I
Sucker.
a lot of times don't say my name because I like her asking my name. That shows some interest.
No, I don't like when a guy's like, "Hi, you look really nice."
Well, I won't say you look nice.
You don't know my name.
Yeah.
We don't care.
That's weird.
We
That's a
don't
shame.
care.
Listen, it's
Though-
a shame Wax treats white men in the chicken business better than he treats
It
women.
is real shit.
You would
Honestly,
never walk up to a
Here
white
we
man in
go.
the chicken business and be like, give me
Here
some
we
fucking
go.
chicken, yo. I want all this chicken fucking tonight,
No,
yo.
you know what? I can't say that because I'm
that's a
paying
fact.
for them fucking
No, you
chickens.
wouldn't. No, you
Yes,
wouldn't.
I am.
No, you
I'm
would
not
not talk
asking
like
for
that.
nothing.
No, you wouldn't.
This is
Yo,
fucked
whoa,
up.
ordering.
This guy is crazy.
You're
I'm
acting a
not
little crazy.
asking for nothing.
I'm not gonna lie.
Listen what I
Wax,
said.
in
Listen
all
what I said,
seriousness,
though.
I'm listening to what you say. I think you might treat the chickens better than you treat women.
They give me money.
That's
These
a
girls
tragedy.
don't. They make me have sex with them. I
That's-
don't want to have
that's
sex with them.
sad, bro.
Girls make me have sex with them.
Well,
I
he got
want to.
nieces. He got plenty nieces.
Yeah,
Plenty
hopefully
nieces.
my nieces don't try to make dudes have sex with them then.
What?
Listen, I don't know what you're
Girls
talking
make me have sex with them. I don't want to have sex.
I don't know what you're talking about. The point is this. We should have some sort of etiquette when it comes to interacting with people.
Or just wait until we come up to you.
We have to. I don't think the weight. I don't think you really want the weight. Because I think you want an assertive male. I think you want a male that knows what he wants and he's willing to go out there and get it. Not one that's going to force
Only
himself
at
on you.
certain times.
But I think you want someone assertive.
Listen, when she just broke up with her boyfriend, she just wants somebody to smash real quick. That's when she holla at me. When she been out of a relationship and been smashing for months, she probably holla at you.
Why are you so aggressive about rape culture, bro?
Yeah,
Stop
man.
trying to push this shit.
When a girl been in a relationship for like 10 years and she see a guy, she's like, I'm just gonna have sex with him tonight. What's wrong with that?
I don't think
But she probably been smashing for like 3 months. She's like, I've been fucking too much. I need a man.
There's nothing wrong with that
Then
because
won't
she
talk to
made
you.
the choice and she made the decision. But the way you was talking earlier, you was pushing yourself.
No, I just
on
asked her
these
she want to
women.
smash me. She
Okay.
said, no,
That's
go to the
very
next
direct.
girl.
I want to bring
That's
this up.
very direct.
I want to bring this up because we have some girls here, and there was something I asked a question earlier this day. Earlier this week. I don't understand why we have bachelorette parties.
So the girls can get smashed.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand why they got bachelor parties. I
well,
didn't
no,
have a bachelor party.
bachelor parties make sense.
What?
Bachelor
come
parties
on.
make sense.
Because
But I'll
that's the last pussy we get to get.
I'll explain why.
No, that's not true. My whole life has
Let
been
me
a bachelor
explain.
party. That's why I didn't have one.
Okay, so there's a perfect example.
We actually went to the club. I mean, you didn't come in until you came in on the day of the wedding, right?
I came on the day.
Yeah.
So the night before, we went to the club.
Yeah, we
like
chilling.
we all went to the club. Me and Wax and my wife and Alicia Renee.
But you
and,
guys
boat,
went
right?
together.
You was
you
on the
went
boat
together,
before
though.
that, right?
and we had a boat. Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
boat ride
yeah,
before that.
yeah.
We went to the. I had a
Listen,
the
that's
club.
cool. You have the. Here's the thing. I don't understand why girls have the bachelorette party, and this is why I don't understand why they have it. Right? The point of a bachelorette party or a bachelor party is to celebrate you have a night of you with the people that you love and your friends, right? It's a celebration of you, right? Before you're married, essentially, right? For women, that's the wedding. The wedding is not about us. I'm dressed like every asshole at the wedding. I'm the same suit. You don't know the difference between the waiter and me at the wedding, right? I look like the busboys. I look like if you walk in a wedding, go point out the groom. It's gonna take you all fucking day. You're gonna have to walk to every single guy. The women's dressed like a Disney princess. Yes. You look unbelievable. Nobody's even allowed to wear your color. You have one color that is only up to you, and if another bitch even wears similar to your color, she's a hoe. Everybody hates her.
What did you call him just now?
Andrew is right.
Andrew, what is that?
Andrew,
a bitch? Yes.
Shit, I don't know. Corrupt knows.
Andrew is absolutely correct that the wedding is absolutely for the woman.
100%.
It's not for us. So the bachelor party is our wedding.
But
we need the bachelor party.
Why can't we have a bachelor?
Because here's the thing: you don't want to celebrate your singleness.
Why not?
Why would you? You're getting married. We're agreeing.
You're the one who winning.
You gain everything through marriage.
I didn't want to have a bachelor party simply because I feel like my whole life has been a bachelor party.
Respect. I understand that.
Like, what does that even mean? I'm gonna fuck one last girl? Like, no.
Well, I don't know if you got to fuck, but my point is like when a guy enters a contract of marriage, he loses everything, and a woman gains everything.
Yes.
No woman is really going to marry a guy who makes less money than them. That's just stupid. Only men make those stupid decisions, right?
That's not true. Some women marry for love.
Yeah, right.
Some people really do.
Oprah ain't married still. There's a reason why she ain't get married.
Oprah's different.
Listen, you said
Don't put Oprah into this, okay?
And you know, she said she's willing to marry a guy who makes
She's
less.
lying.
And that's because you're
20.
out there hitting on your boyfriend. You hit on him.
You think people just get married for money?
Not for
100%.
money. It's not for money. It's not about
90%.
that.
It's for security.
All of these young women are under 30 that we're talking to, by the way.
120, under 25.
What? No, Taylor's 26.
I'm 26.
What are you getting married for, Taylor? What do you want? Love or money?
I want both. Like, I need to have a security, though.
But what's more?
I don't want him to be, like,
70,
rich
30?
or nothing. Like, I'm not going to settle for someone just because he's rich.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be secured with...
on you in a heartbeat.
But I need,
That's not
I need to
true.
be secured, though. Not just money, but, like, just knowing that he loves me. Like, he's not...
Security is important. Absolutely.
Y'all talk too
You need
much.
that these day and age.
You need
Y'all talk too
security.
much.
The opportunity cost
We
for
got
women
time
in
for
marriage
that.
is high, right? You have a kid, you got 9 months, you can't do shit. A guy need to pay for something. It makes sense why you would want to marry a guy who's got some money. I don't fault women at all for that. All I'm saying is I understand the bachelor party because we're losing everything. We got to celebrate our
For real.
our singledom. We
One
need that
more
one
night.
last day.
Yes.
You're gaining everything.
Y'all gain
You're making
everything.
it sound like so bad, though.
You're not bad. You're not bad. All I'm
I
saying
mean, the
is
thing about
both
marriage
sides.
is you gain, you do lose things, but you gain a lot more than you
Thank
lose.
you. He making it sound like you lose
Because
all,
the
you
single
going
life ain't
bankrupt.
really that popular. I can honestly say I'm having more fun now than I was
Yeah,
when I
you
was
definitely have more fun
when
than
I
me.
was single. Like
Right.
I like the whole father thing, being
It's
a
cool.
husband. Like
Sure.
it's actually fun. Like
Yeah, so...
As you should.
Yeah, the
but
single-
I'm saying like
Their whole life, you're dreaming about this man that you're going to meet and spend the rest of your life with.
No.
Not at all? One girl, yes.
I'm saying I'm not dreaming.
Not
like,
them girls.
I ain't never like, oh, this wedding. I'm trying to be successful. That's not.
That's
what is
great.
successful.
Successful means
Yeah,
you be
successful,
45 with no
I just
kids.
want to have. I just want to have life balance.
I don't
Be
know
able
what to
be married,
say.
have a
That's why I
family,
wanna
and
talk.
still do my career.
Sure.
Not have to sacrifice it.
Sure.
I want to be married.
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Tell him shut the fuck up forever.
Whoa. What's wrong with it? I'm a marriage material type of guy.
Fuck up forever,
I'm like an old
if you
school
really wanted
marriage
that-
material type of guy.
How old are you again?
Be quiet.
You've been on the hunt for a wife for a while now.
I
People
want
have been
a
trying to
wife.
help you out. Don't you have a girl?
Just look at his phone. And
He don't even got no names.
Chill
I
out.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
So you with the girls now?
That is
He don't
true.
got no
Don't get it-
names. He don't
That
got
is
no
true.
names.
His DMs are disrespectful.
Yeah, girls just sending him mad pussy
It's
pictures.
all alleged. It's all alleged.
He's a son. Oh, if he had a daughter, you wouldn't be acting
He got
like that.
nieces.
Listen, I keep
How
my
many-
Timbs on, man. That's why I don't have no daughters.
Listen, I can't wait till he gonna get somebody pregnant soon, and it's
Chill
gonna
out.
be so
I know you're gonna say
funny.
that.
Listen,
Shit.
if he gets the person I think he's gonna get pregnant,
I can't wait.
We're gonna have the baby shower on the podcast. We're gonna have. We're going.
for
Listen to me, everybody that listens to this podcast. The whole 9 months, the next 9 months, gonna be fire
my God.
on this podcast. You hear me?
Let us pray.
Every doctor
Let us
visit.
have a moment
I'm
of prayer.
praying.
Chill out.
I'm praying
Please,
right
chill
now.
out.
Please,
That's
God.
why I stopped having
Please,
sex.
God.
Please, God. Please, Allah.
Let the condom
Hashem.
break and wax get this woman
Oh,
pregnant.
celibate
Let me
again.
tell you, if you have a
There you
daughter with
go.
her, it's gonna be the biggest titties you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. This girl gonna look like Lawrence Taylor with size triple D
Please.
titties. It's gonna be
Please.
unbelievable.
Please.
Oh my
I
God! I
gotta worry
cannot
about that
wait.
happening. I gotta worry about
And
that.
that's when she has to reveal herself.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what she's got to reveal herself.
Without a doubt.
All on the podcast. Everything. We're going to have a reveal for the baby and a reveal for the baby mama right here on the Brilliant Idiots podcast.
Dude, that's sonogram.
Paternity test too then.
Listen. What?
Paternity test.
On the podcast as well.
You know, I think one of y'all might go get her pregnant just to try to say his mind, just for the fucking joke.
Oh, now you're not gonna want to. You are. Listen to that. Listen to that.
And stop having sex.
The woman out there that Wax is in love with, but is denying. Think about how he's already thinking about how he's not gonna claim the baby. Think about that.
All
he's
men do that first. So hold on. So you automatically think the baby is yours all the time? You don't always think the baby is yours all the time.
Why would you assume it's not? Why would you assume your girl's fucking someone else? That's weird.
I don't know. I think all girls I smash got boyfriends, so it's just like
that's the bad karma you live in, man. You can't trust nobody because you fuck with girls who don't trust people.
Everything is my problem. It's me.
Yeah.
It's not the girl. The girls is great. It's me.
Let's talk about the time the gay guy hit on Wax in the club.
Why we go to pussy babies and the gay guys?
It was after, I think it was my birthday. I don't know whose birthday it was, but we was leaving STK.
Yeah.
And Wax went to the club with Carly Aquilino.
Oh,
and,
it's Schultz brought me there. It's fucking gay club.
Yeah, Schultz, you was there.
To the white boy club. Yeah.
And Wax was in
white
there.
boy club. It was a gay club.
Wax was in there.
It wasn't a gay club.
Wax was in there.
Oh, he was kissing that girl, that nasty fat girl.
I was kissing a nasty fat girl. Listen.
At least Andrew admits when he kisses a nasty fat girl.
Listen, I just started having standards. I'm totally fine with not having standards my whole life.
Did you see when the gay guy hit on Wax?
Say what?
Did you see when the gay guy hit on Wax?
I told him to hit on him.
Wax was in there.
I knew it was up to
Wax was in there cute with his little tight shirts on and tight jeans. The guy walked up to Wax and asked Wax to dance.
Yo, listen, he put his hands out too. He put his hand out like that, like it was Snow White and shit. Like, man, I have this dance. Yo, he placed it out, and Wax he thought it was a handshake, so he shook the hand, and then the guy kind of put his thumb on the top of it.
He kissed my hand. What are you talking about?
Bro,
I gotta kiss my hand.
But you let it get there.
No, if I'm like,
can I kiss
you
your
let
hand?
him on.
No, you saw how you took it away.
You let him on.
You saw how you took it away.
You let him on. How does your hand go all the way to a man's mouth?
That's all I'm saying.
Same thing that happened to you a week later.
Let me ask you a question. How many pull-ups you could do?
I did I think 119 today.
But he couldn't pull away.
You can pull one fucking hand away from this.
He can do all those pull-ups, but can't pull away.
Okay.
I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I'm like, guy, peace, bro.
You were in a comfortable environment and you let your guard down. This is good.
I didn't think the man was gonna try to kiss my hand though.
Well, he did.
Yeah, maybe you're fluid with your sexuality.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest
Wax
with you.
almost punched me in my chest. He just can't do it.
Now I'm gonna be honest. In about 90 countries, that's considered gay.
Yo,
what? Letting the man kiss my hand?
Yes.
That's how
many countries is it?
Because if you go to Africa, motherfuckers holding hands and shit out there. I don't know what they consider gay in Africa, yo. Africa's got some weird idea of homosexuality.
Yeah. I thought it was only 55 countries, 50 countries.
All right, let's pay these bills. Okay,
how many
come on,
countries
let's pay these bills, and then we're gonna bring our guest in. This is ridiculous. All right, I gotta pee. You want to go?
Yeah, I got this, man. Today's podcast is brought to you by Blue Apron. Springtime is a great chance to hit the reset button and re-tackle some personal goals like getting fit, cleaning your home, or cooking. And with Blue Apron, incredible home cooking is easy and accessible when they deliver seasonal recipes with step-by-step instructions and pre-portioned ingredients right to your door, all for less than $10 per meal. You can customize your recipes based on your preferences and select delivery options that work best for your lifestyle. And best of all, there's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them. Some of the upcoming meals may include beef teriyaki stir-fry with sugar snap peas and lime rice, baked spinach and egg flatbread with sauteed asparagus and lemon aioli, 3 cheese and baby broccoli stromboli with tomato and oregano dipping sauce, crispy salmon and roasted potato salad with pickled mustard seed, and creme fraiche sauce. God, I wish I let Charlamagne read that.
The salmon burger in my house last week.
Oh, how was it?
It was really good, actually. My 9-year-old daughter helped me make it. She had no problems. It was great. We had an incident because there's an alley cat we've been feeding. And my younger daughter took one of the salmon patties
and gave it to the alley cat.
Threw it out the window of the alley cat. So it was a lot of drama. But that shows it is actually cool because out of one of these things you can get a legit like 4 or 5
person meal.
Yeah. So
it's
like
good for you and your pet, guys. So if you have animals, if you have stray animals that you take in, they also enjoy Blue Apron. They love it. Definitely get that salmon for them. All right. I'm not sure what dogs would like. I'm not sure what any other house animal would like, but definitely make sure you check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free. Free shipping. Go to blueapron.com/idiots. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/idiots. Blue Apron, it's a better way to cook.
An easier way to cook.
It's an easier way to cook. Well, I got better right here.
I'm
Ron
adding my
Burgundy that
personal
shit. You
endorsement.
know me.
I'm adding my personal endorsement.
Okay, we have a guest today. We have two gentlemen that are going to join us.
Sure.
So right now we have ItsTheReal. ItsTheReal is in the building.
Hey.
No, why don't you guys hang out over here? Is that okay? We'll move those for you.
On the Boca Raton cushion?
We're gonna get you on the Boca. Perfect.
This is where all the guests sit, right?
All the guests sit here. Well, when we have two, it's a little bit more difficult. You know what I mean? We wanted you guys to probably sit over here. You guys know Wax, I'm assuming?
I know he can do
guys know
119 push-ups, or pull-ups, yeah.
Yeah.
Today, though.
I know that he won't let me kiss his hand today.
That's
Nice.
today. But last time it was
last time
totally
it was
fun.
fine. Yeah.
Right? When it was just you two guys, it was easy.
It was cool.
That's fucked up, man, Wax. I can't believe that you would be embarrassed to be yourself around your closest friends.
Well, only in 55 countries.
55. Do you guys know how many countries there are in the
There's
world?
like 180.
Is there 180 countries?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Here, go to Wikipedia, Wax.
I ain't got time to read. It's too much reading.
Okay. It's the real.
My guys.
What's happening?
What's up?
How are you?
Eric, Jeff.
What's good?
How's your mother, man?
She's good, thank you very much.
Y'all paid me a very big compliment the other day. You told me your mom saw me somewhere or something?
New York Times.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But
also
Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert too.
Yeah. Wow.
She's a big fan of you. She's a big fan of Killer Mike. She's a big fan of like everybody that we meet, but specifically you guys. And she was impressed at your New York Times piece and wanted to let you know.
Dope. Now you guys have carved out a really good lane for yourselves, man. First of all, is the MTV show still happening?
It's happening,
but not at MTV. MTV isn't doing scripted programming anymore.
Yeah, so we're continuing.
Still in the Viacom building?
Not determined yet.
Yeah, I had to ask because I'm like, MTV's not going to do anything that would actually work. That's why I had to ask.
Yo, we sold the show like a year and a half ago or something like that, and the executive who bought it left the next week.
Who? Suzanne?
No.
Somebody in LA. What was her name? Mina?
Nope, she came in later.
Mina came in.
I really
Mina's
don't
there
remember at this point.
Yeah.
But it's been like a whole exodus of executives over there, so...
Yeah,
they're
a
really
merger that was supposed to happen, a merger that didn't happen, all that.
You know the thing
They're
that
really trying to figure it
impresses
out.
me the most about Eric and Jeff throughout all of this time, because y'all been in the hip hop culture for a minute. Y'all have never gotten the culture vulture label.
Only by like random people on Twitter, just like the eggs, on Twitter.
And that's probably just started happening.
Yeah.
Well, when you're successful and you're white, that's when they come in. But no, like
Don't I know it?
Well, no, but you've been vulturing culture for like how long?
My whole life.
It's such a great, easy rhyme.
It's an egg, though. Why do you put an egg?
The egg avatar.
Don't you have chickens?
Listen, this guy don't know anything.
I just found out what a fucking eggplant is. I ain't know what an eggplant was.
What's this shit the chickens is shitting out every day? This is weird. You know, really
You
strange.
don't know what the eggplant is?
I just found out what an eggplant is.
Wait, what did you think it was before?
Huh?
What did you think it was before?
Well, all those guys that DM the eggplant emoji to
fucking
him.
eggplant on my shit. I was like, what the fuck is
All those
this?
guys that do the eggplant emoji?
This ain't no fucking guys.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
All the random people on Twitter who just, have one follower and just spread hate all over like to, pick on us
Eggs.
on Twitter. Yeah.
All the people. It's like two people.
Mischief night.
question: do black people know you guys?
Yeah.
They do.
Yes.
Okay,
More than white
I
people.
wasn't. You said more than white people.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
I wasn't familiar. I had heard you guys. I heard obviously some tweets and you guys interacting before, but I wasn't as familiar.
Well, you are white.
I am white.
Yeah.
The
I am
first
as-
time we
but
met
I
Chrissy
happen to
Teigen.
be in this world a little bit, the hip hop world a little
Yeah.
bit by proxy of this show and doing some shows on MTV too. I feel like sometimes you don't get the culture vulture label when you're doing something that's specifically in the white world.
So we've been around for a decade now, actually. A decade come August.
Right.
And we started out doing sketches back in 2007, and we did them every Monday for 3.5 years straight, right? And soon enough, like not long after we started, Bun B called us, and the Clips called us, and Cameron called us, and Slaughterhouse, and like all these people wanted to be a part of it. And we just came at it from a perspective of like, we were outsiders. We were just kids who grew up, north in New York City and loved this culture. But like, no one knew who we were. Like the second video we did, we threw an early retirement party for Lloyd Banks, right?
And so like that went very viral at the time. Like whatever viral was in 2007, like it did that. And all these people started.
Didn't he press show?
What's that?
He presses later.
Yeah, like 10 years later. But he
but like all these commenters on Nah Right thought that like, you know, the game hired us.
Or like Dipset.
Yeah, to go after Lloyd Banks.
They're like, who are these like random white dudes going at Lloyd Banks
you know,
trying to take him down?
Black Apple wasn't, you know, selling or Rotten Apple. Rotten Apple wasn't
Jesus
selling.
Christ, get that one correct. You can't say Black Apple after talking about shitting on a black rapper. Jesus Christ.
Rotten Apple.
All it takes is one fuck up, guys. One fuck up. Sounding like some vultures right now, okay?
Black Apple.
Why's it gotta be black?
We're about to throw DJ Vlad in here.
Oh man, I can't wait for you.
Black Apple is the clothing label that public school does. Shout out to Max and Dow. Yeah.
What was y'all angle though for Lloyd Banks though?
We threw an early retirement party for him, and
why though? Like,
because it was about the expectations of like, because it wasn't like he wasn't even like not doing well. It was just that it kept getting pushed back, and so we thought, all right, you know, what would be a funny rapper to do a you know,
an early retirement for him. We had this sad conference room with sad streamers, and we put his face on a cake and had like all these employees sign like a Good Luck Banks, you know, like signing board, and it spread pretty quickly, and we thought it was an interesting way to comment on the business that was going on at the time. And we did videos. The first video we ever did was called Deconstructing Biggie, where we looked at the Biggie line, "You're mad because my style you're admiring, don't be mad UPS is hiring," from the UPS driver's perspective who hated it, and the DHL and the FedEx guys who thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And that video did like tremendous numbers. So we kept doing that for 3.5 years. And when you get co-signed by Bun B and by the Clips and Cam and
everybody else, yeah, like that means a lot. Those co-signs go a long way. So it's not just like the random white dudes, you know, in their mom's basement.
Right.
So when Lloyd Banks pressed y'all 10 years later, where were y'all and what happened? Like,
we were interviewing him for Billboard, and
it was all of G Unit, and so 50 walks in and
50's awesome.
He was awesome.
50 comes in, he's awesome.
But y'all thought he forgot?
Oh, well, you know, 10 years is a long time. 10 years is a long time. And
this is like a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
10 fucking years later,
he was
been
sitting there
training
just
every day
to avenge his, you know, his own death. And so he came up to us and he goes, "I know you. I don't like you. You made fun of me. Don't make me beat you up." And then sat at the other end of the table.
And we're like, "Oh, great!"
And then we interviewed him.
And by the end of it, by the way, he was just like, "Oh, you guys are all right." Yeah.
Y'all didn't use y'all white privilege in that moment and be like, "If you hit me, I am calling the police." Right?
You scared me when you do that.
No, I was wearing glasses, so I thought I was safe. I would throw Eric under the bus.
That's right. Real quick.
So what are y'all doing now? Like, I know y'all got
got an album. Yeah. So we put a mixtape out 3 years ago with DJ Drama, and we had us rapping alongside Bun B, Freeway, Mano, Lil Jon, Hannibal Buress was on there, and it went really well. Front page New York Times Arts section. We performed at Bonnaroo. We were in rotation on MTV and Revolt.
One of our singles did like 100,000 first week.
Yeah, and what it was it's not like your Weird Al's or your Lonely Islands. It was like walking that fine line between reality and ridiculous. This was good music. At the bottom line, good music. We had a song with Bun B called "Girls with the Dirty Souths." Okay, right, where we like, you know,
salute those women who let their bush grow.
Right, and Bun came on that, and it's a real Southern banger. And Bun was awesome and comfortable with getting on a song that talked about girls' pubic options.
Wax said ill, so clearly
I think that's kind of dirty. I'm sorry.
So if you don't want to be raped by Wax, then
just grow your pubic hair. That's
right. So what type of girls y'all smashing though?
They can make their own decisions. The greatest thing about this song is that it was like celebrated by Bro Bible, so like all the dudes, but it was also celebrated by the Hairpin.
And they said that was a feminist anthem.
So like,
so y'all end up smashing the girls with bushy hair. They like that song.
They can do whatever they want.
Everybody that Wax rejects, we will take.
Everybody that Wax won't rape.
That's right. Yeah, all the women out there.
Consent for.
I can do less than 119 pull-ups in a day. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got no chance if a guy tries to kiss your hand.
Yeah, only in like what 135 more countries. So.
Yeah.
But but we have an album coming out on Friday. It's called Teddy Bear Fresh, and it features a lot of people. It's
us and Currency and Smoke DZA and Jazz Cartier, Tunji Ige, Angie Martinez is on there.
Just Blaze.
No, we almost got her to rap a few years ago.
But we sampled her from a video that we had, and it's on the very first song called "Who's Real," and it's a dope project.
So there's skits and music, or
this is only music, but they're incredibly clever concepts.
So it's satire.
Yeah. But it's played more straight than like satire. It's not like
good music that's very funny.
Gotcha.
Give us an example.
Okay.
Like
we have a song called Blue Cross Blue Shield where we vow to stay independent till we die. unless the label gives us health insurance, right? And that features Jazz Cartier on there. We got a song called
Girl Your Ass Is Like a Metaphor. That's with Tunji Ige.
Yep.
Our song Waco, Because Everything Is So Lit.
Yep. We have a song on there with Currency and Smoke DZA called Sugar High, because that's our drug of choice. But they all go hard, right? These are like songs that really, really bang.
Who did the production?
Our best friend Greg Mayo, and he's done all our production throughout all the years of It's the Real. And
is he white?
He's white.
Is.
Yeah,
it's a real name.
Yeah,
you can't be white with a last name Mayo. Jesus Christ. That's like
are you sure you can't?
I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, what was the first time you met Chrissy Teigen? You said?
Yeah, first time we met Chrissy Teigen. A friend of ours was like, "Yo, remember Guy Fieri's restaurant in Times Square had the like worst review ever?
Yes.
It was just like the most horrible review ever, and it went viral. And we were like, well, we got to go see what this is like. So we ended up going with a few friends just to see how terrible this could possibly be.
And so we're sitting at the table, and Chrissy Teigen was one of those friends who came in, and she went around the table and she introduced herself to every single person at the table. She was just like, "Hi, I'm Chrissy Teigen," and she gets over to us and she says, "Hi, I'm Chrissy." Eric says,
I'm like, "Oh, I'm Eric. This is Jeff. We're It's the Real. You follow us on Twitter, so now here we are."
And she goes, and then like walks.
And I was like,
her seat. And I was like,
"What the fuck?
What a missed opportunity." And so midway through the dinner,
you added her on Twitter.
Yeah,
just making a joke and adding, and she looks up and she looks around
and she goes, "Is It's the Real here?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're right here." And she goes, "Oh, I thought you guys were black."
And we were like, "Oh, yeah, but
no,
not
black.
So she probably didn't even put two and two together when y'all was like, "Hey, it's the real."
No,
like,
never.
Fuck these white people talking about.
Right.
But ever since, she introduced us to all of her friends as her black friends.
Yeah.
So like Kevin from The Office, she was like, these are my black
and
friends.
we're just like, this is the first time we're meeting him. How could he understand like whatever is going through her head right now? So.
Do executives get y'all? And what I mean by that is, I know, like Gary on. I remember somebody telling me that they like Gary, but Gary doesn't have a white audience.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, what can I really do with him? Like I remember somebody saying that to me before, and I was like, but Gary got an audience, but they was like, what do we really do with him? Like, so is there really an audience for two white guys who only have a black fan base?
It's an interesting distinction because from the network's perspective, they want the pat on the back for being diverse.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really care if the audience that watches is diverse.
Right.
That's just statistics.
Yeah.
They care that there's colored faces on the screen. Now, you guys bring this audience of color, but your faces are white. I assume you're Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so you're these two Jewish guys.
These faces are
I don't know. You know what I mean?
You want to see the side profile? There you go. Yeah.
So no, it's a really interesting thing now because if the network was genuine, they would go, we care about showcasing this culture. These guys represent this culture.
Mm-hmm.
They're ingrained with people who are in the culture, and their fan base is part of this culture.
Right.
We're about the culture. They don't give a fuck about that.
Right.
What they want is the Rolling Stone article. Look how diverse Comedy Central is. Or
Correct,
Look how
yeah.
diverse, et cetera.
So
you're in a
that's
rock
why
and a
that's why
hard place
MTV
a
bought
little
our
bit, right?
show and never
And they never put it out, right? That's fucking interesting, man.
It's crazy. You would think that there would be more Jews on TV.
if there's not enough.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you people that you can't figure out entertainment?
They run the goddamn TV.
Exactly.
The executives.
BET brought us in. BET brought us in 2012. There was a woman who was running programming over there, and we got to the lobby, and all these interns like stand up. They're like, "Oh my God, It's the Real is here!" And we walk down, and they're basically like applauding our entrance, which is like crazy.
And so we sit down with her, and she had no idea who we were, but we sit down with her, and she goes, "What gives you the right to comment on my culture?"
Like right off the bat, we were
first
like,
question.
All right.
So we were like, we could have answered that we've worked with all these different people. That
we go all these events that we're around and you see our faces.
But instead, Eric started talking about how...
I was just like, we've been listening since Arrested Development.
And she goes, I love that show. And we were like, I also love that show. It's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about like Tennessee and Mr. Wendell and like BET. So, who knows?
It didn't work out.
It did not.
So are you saying you're more part of the culture than this lady at BET?
Yes, if that's
are
the
you
headline
saying
from
it's
this interview.
possible for someone to have a certain color skin and not know everything about the culture that is connected with that skin? Are you guys saying this to me right now?
I'm saying that we are not understood by a lot of people.
It's real. Are you saying it is possible?
Being culturally clueless doesn't have a race.
I can't imagine this. Are you saying that maybe it is possible that a surgeon who does surgery for lung cancer might not have had lung cancer in his life, and he might still be able to do surgery for it. Is that possible?
I don't think that's the same thing.
But the experience is better. The experience is a little bit better.
The point is, yes, you're going to have a different experience, but doesn't mean that some people who are smart can't comment on it.
Yeah.
By the way, what year was this?
That was 2010. That was 2010.
You asked me about Arrested Development, now I'm going to think of the TV show. I'm not going to think of the group. Arrested Development?
No,
you think
You have to remind me too.
Are you kidding? Yo, Tennessee was a hit.
Yeah, after you remind me, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. I'm not thinking of Arrested Development in 2007.
Maybe you're a culture vulture.
I am. But listen, so do white executives get it? Do they? But no, not get it. Do they respect it?
White executives respect it, but every white executive that we talked to, like, we had a line in our show that was about Nardwar, and they were like, "Is that a Jewish word?"
And we're
we had a line in our show.
It was crazy.
But say who Nardwar is for the people who don't know.
For anyone who doesn't know,
I don't know.
Nardwar
Wax
is
doesn't know anything.
I don't. That's literally me.
Nardwar is a Canadian interviewer who, like, his interviews are very particular, and they go crazy viral.
He knows him if he sees him.
Yeah. He's got a funny hat.
Yeah.
He's got a funny accent.
You need to watch porn.
Nardwar.
Yeah.
But I think that here's what executives really respect. They respect our hustle and our persistence, and that we've been around for 10 years, and that we are respected by so many people in this business.
And also that we know Chrissy Teigen.
That's right.
If you guys were black, that you would already have a TV show on TV. Right
No,
now.
I
think it's harder for black people to get on TV anyway.
Right.
I think it might be harder for y'all if y'all was black. Because if y'all was black, they'd be like, well, we'll just find somebody else that's black with a bigger audience.
Right. Then
you know what I'm
like
saying? I think what helps y'all is that y'all are
Dormtainment did get on
white.
TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dormtainment's on TV?
They have a true TV show, is that right?
They got True, and then they had a Comedy Central deal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But now, do you guys think that they're more talented than you guys?
I don't watch their stuff.
I don't know their work.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Shade!
No.
I'm curious. I'm curious because you guys have had this amazing success, and it seems like this ground root success, and it seems like all the people know who you are, the people that need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it doesn't translate to why you guys aren't on TV.
For me, I think that being in New York and knowing everybody sees us as familiar faces. So I think for us, it's very much like we're sort of taking it for granted. Like, it's like those guys are just still doing that thing.
Even though we've done like a whole bunch of different things, like we didn't do sketches for a whole career. It wasn't like 10 years of just like, oh yeah, the guys who do sketches. It was, we have a podcast. We did interviews for MTV. These absurdist, and everything that we do music. Everything we did was with a particular voice and was different, right?
Right.
I think we're niche. I think that's what sort of like sets us apart.
Agree.
And that's probably why we're not more successful, because we refuse to make it more commercial or sell out.
Well, success is subjective, though.
Of
you know what I'm
course,
saying?
yes.
Like, I don't know what y'all are comparing, being successful to, but I think you guys have created a nice little lane for yourself.
Yeah,
thank you.
Listen,
And
I'm happy.
Yeah, I think we're appreciative that we've been 10 years and are more relevant than ever, and we're so appreciative that we don't get a lot of culture
But TV
vulture
is
shit.
niche.
Listen, maybe you should come with us to the meetings and you can like pitch the executive.
That's a good point, though.
He can definitely
That's
do
a
it.
good point. TV is niche.
TV is
Every show is niche.
Right.
I think it's because you guys are white and Jewish.
That's a big word.
I don't know.
I think if you weren't, I think if you were a minority, if you were women or something like that, I think if you were women, it would work. If you were white women, white Jewish women, fine. But I think you're two white guys, and I think it's a tough time to be 30-year-old white guys in entertainment.
We're both 17 and 21.
that's right. We are right in the demographic right now.
I think it is. No, I think it is. And especially if you guys were in a different lane, it would be possible. Maybe if you were doing like the nerd thing.
Right.
Where you really hyped up the nerd thing, the kind of big
doing
bang.
the nerd thing.
But they're actually,
We don't do the nerd thing. We live
listen,
the nerd thing.
listen. You might be nerdier,
Yeah.
but I don't think you guys are doing the nerd thing because you're really in tune with the culture that you're speaking about.
How does your
right?
family feel? Do they feel like you're wasting your good Jewish heritage on this hip hop bullshit?
Although we did have somebody on our podcast recently that used to be a banker, and he was talking about how easy it was to like become a banker, and I was like, "Yo, shut the fuck up!" Like, our mom's gonna hear this.
Dude.
What made y'all get into hip hop though? Like,
Arrested Development.
That's right, yeah.
TV show.
No, we've loved it, and I went to school to be a feature film writer and director, and I wrote scripts out of college that were like, I had no worldview I didn't experience any love or loss or anything, right? It was just like, I was writing about like high school shit. It just, of course it wasn't going to sell, right? And then I just had this turn in my life where I was like, I want to do something I care about and something that I know about and write from that perspective. And so I got to know a guy that was coming up at the time named Kanye West, and I got to know his managers, and those guys welcomed me into their circle, took me out to the Grammys.
Yeah, but you reached out when he was like still doing like nobody clubs,
right? And it ended up where I got to, I was Kanye's personal videographer during the biggest moment of his life. Like,
which one?
The 2005 Grammys, his first one.
Okay.
So I was with them and Don C and John Monopoly and Happy and Ivan and their whole crew, and they treated me like family. They didn't need to do this. I was a kid from 30 minutes north of New York City with a camera, right? And they brought me in, and I got to see what life was like and how ridiculous it was. I came back to New York, and all of a sudden you have that at the top of your resume. Mona Scott wants to meet with me, and Leora Cohen wants to meet with me, and Kevin Liles, and I'm working with Missy Elliott and Jim Jones and Joel Santana. And you see what life is like, and you see what a ridiculous character Big Joe is, right? And it's like, wow, this is kind of fascinating. And by the time that Jeff graduated college,
well, I only learned about hip hop in 2015 when Iggy Azalea came out.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah.
And so we linked up and decided to work together. Where our other brother Dan has a real job, right?
Right.
He worked for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the
Yankees, Madison Square Garden. Now he works for the NFL.
Who the fuck is not Dan Gilbert, right?
No, he worked for Dan Gilbert.
Dan doesn't work for the Cavaliers. He owns the Cavaliers.
He's Jewish, and he just said the Cavaliers. He works for the Cavs. He actually owns it.
But so we started doing this stuff that we loved, and that took us further because we cared about it, because we loved it, than any fiction I could have written up at the time. It's
interesting you said you didn't have a worldview. You was out of college and didn't have a worldview? I
don't think so. I think I was pretty sheltered. Like what did I know besides right.
You only you went away to Syracuse, then you came back.
Right.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm interested in people's stories. Like, even though people may think they don't have a worldview, like whatever your experience is that you went through, I love hearing about
Same.
that.
Everything's relative.
And that's what comes across on our podcast when we interview people, because we want to know the arc of someone's journey, right? Sure. But I got to be really honest. Like, I had a life that I didn't go to sleepaway camp. Like, I went to a day camp when I was a kid. Like, I stuck around.
When did you first get some pussy?
It was 2015. I had just heard Iggy Azalea.
Right? Yeah. No, it was high school, but then it was college. But I didn't.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Syracuse.
You get a worldview.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
not automatic.
You want to know? You want to know when I got worldview? And when our dad died. That changed everything.
Okay, you just changed the fucking
No.
Jesus Christ.
I'm being really honest.
No, the thing is that he just heard Iggy Azalea.
That's right, yeah. Dad was so shocked that he died, yeah.
All right, so what happened? Your father died?
No, our father died out of nowhere. He got esophageal cancer, which is you find it very late stage.
Smoker?
No.
That's why it was out of nowhere.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Did they have any explanation for it?
He had acid reflux, but
and the symptoms get masked because they're similar.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's acid reflux?
This fuck guy
listen, I'll go to the hospital tonight.
I know.
He said reflex.
It's when you eat too many eggplants. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so
but that changed our worldview more than any pussy could have at the time.
Yeah, of course, right.
I
would think
your first loss,
first real loss. Yeah, I mean, grandparents. He was 68, I think.
So it was totally unexpected.
Totally unexpected.
How old are you guys? Can you guys say now?
Our TV ages?
Yeah, whatever.
No, we're in our early 30s.
Early 30s. Okay, cool.
And yeah, so that changed our lives, and that gave us perspective and allowed us to travel more and allowed us to think in different ways, and you become a different person then.
You had to become the man of the house?
Had to. Okay. And our uncle died too, from cancer.
Yeah, a month beforehand.
It was just 1-2, and all of a sudden we're the oldest men in our family, and it was just that's.
How old was he?
He was similar age. Yeah.
Okay.
So that changed our worldview, and now we were able to talk with a little more
gravitas. But also, I mean, I'm sure this is the first time gravitas has been said in this podcast. But
listen, we got big words. We got big words too, buddy. Okay, what's gravitas?
I don't know.
Does anybody tell me what gravitas is?
But no, I think that also the idea of grinding for 10 years, that will give you some real perspective. You know, when I was 22 and first starting this, that I had a very different perspective than I do now.
Right. And when you say what does our family think of it now? they didn't think much of it for a long time. Maybe our mom did. Our mom like saw how hard we were working, but like you have cousins on the far ends of the family tree
who were just like,
look at that good wasted Jewish skin over there.
They're just like, when are you going to get a real job? Like, get a temp job? Like, do you know what YouTube is? Like, a lot of questions that we were just not going to like participate in. Wow. And they didn't get it till like we interviewed Stevie Wonder. You know, like that was something that they were like, oh, I get it.
That's what you do.
I get it. Yeah.
How do you feel about the success of Lil Dicky? Is he in a similar lane where it's satirical rap, but it's it's also a guy who's skilled at rap? He can rap.
He's skilled at rap.
Yeah.
I think that he comes at it from a very different perspective than we do.
Okay.
I think that he saw an opportunity. I interviewed him for Billboard like years ago. And he said that he was using rap to further his comedy career. And I thought that was a very like overt way of putting it. I don't think that's the way that we go about it.
Right. We look at it as like we comment on the goings on in the business
through rap.
Yeah.
That's your medium.
Yeah.
So Dickie was kind of like I do stand up. So a lot of times people will do stand up just to act. Yeah. And then once they get on with acting, they don't need to do the stand up.
I think he was rapping to get a TV show.
So you guys are purists with the rap.
With
the
intent.
Meaning like that's your art form. That's the medium. That's what you want to do. Everything else funnels back in. Like you're doing the Billboard thing so you could do more of the rapping, not vice versa.
But it all started with the sketches. Like it was like Saturday Night Live, but for rappers and with rappers. And so like it was about giving an opportunity for all these people who don't get to show full sides of themselves. There was no opportunity for like Cameron to go on SNL. Like that's where so everybody had this one sort of sided perspective of who everybody was.
And so
Chappelle did it though.
What's that?
Chappelle was putting guys.
No, totally. But he had ended his show at the time, and we just came at it from our perspective and our point of view.
Got you.
But like we're not replacing Chappelle. We're not in the same lane as like Key and Peele. We just did something that was like we speak the language, we understand it, and rappers appreciate that. So
is
that's
sketch hard to do now? Is it hard to make people make it seem?
Now it's hard only because of the costs and all of that, like and time costs. Like it just takes a lot of time to be original on the internet right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because like once Twitter came along, it was just like everyone's commenting on something, and everyone wants to be funny on Twitter, and it comes at it like from a very, very fast pace. Like it's hard to do a sketch and then wait till the next Monday to release it and have it be relevant, you know?
So you need to get it up immediately in order to attach onto that.
And that's why like so many people did Vine. That's why so many people did Instagram video. That's how like that really popped off because it's just like, oh, well, this is instant.
Is it hard to compete with those guys? I've always wondered with traditional sketch guys, is it hard to compete with the Instagram comedians because essentially you're in the same space, right? It's I want distraction now.
Yeah.
Give me distraction now. The expectation for distraction is pretty low now. It used to be high. It was, I'm going to watch this TV show. I got to be here at 9 o'clock. I got to eat my dinner before.
Yeah.
Now it's just distract me. So now you have a guy who's just got his phone. He's just talking into it like an asshole. Myself, I do it. And you guys putting maybe $5,000 into a fucking sketch or putting time into a sketch for a similar reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Is the cost too high for the response at times?
I thought so. I mean, like, you know, we had sketches that did really, really well. We turned Slaughterhouse into a boy band. We, you know, they were like, you know, throwing roses at the camera and blowing kisses and singing Boys to Men. But then, like, you know, if you do that now, I don't know that it's as easy. People don't have the time, you know, to spend watching those type of videos.
Yeah. I would watch that.
Yeah,
you still can. It's there.
Absolutely. Well, Joe Budden's a friend of the podcast, right? Like so.
Yes,
I'm on Joe Budden's podcast today.
Right now.
Matter of fact, let's get into that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Andrew got to leave in a minute.
I do have to leave him a call. I wish I was here longer for.
I mean, me and Joe, I've known Joe for over 15 years.
Yeah.
Like Joe used to be at my apartment in Columbia, South Carolina, playing spades. So like people don't understand that dynamic.
Was that the Charlemagne pool party or what?
No, I've never done a pool party. But I mean, we've always had that. That's what we talked about on the podcast. Like we've always had that dynamic, that sort of like call you on your shit type of thing. Like it's always.
By the way, I don't think you were wrong in what you said. Just for the record,
he doesn't either.
Yeah,
that's why I don't understand. Either. I've only listened to the first like 20 minutes.
Joe, I haven't heard the podcast yet. Right, I have it saved. But Joe, I think is brilliant in that format, and he's the right guy. And
it's all on him.
It's all on him.
It's all on him.
Because he's a genius. and he can argue any point and turn people into like knots and all of that.
Some would say genius, some would say sociopath.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
I'll go with sociopath.
Both of them are sociopaths. I honestly listened to the first like 20 minutes of the podcast. I thought it was really enjoyable. This is just dropped today. Joe Budden's podcast. Used to be, I'll name this podcast later. I thought it was really enjoyable. I thought you guys have a really cool dynamic. You know, I know you were mentioning even later in the podcast where something about Envy was going through his negotiations, his contract negotiations with Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work out, I think Joe would be a very good A-Mike.
Well, absolutely not.
I'll tell you why.
Joe was going to be good when he was a radio host at Hot 97.
He was.
I really think he would because Joe.
Not an A-Mike though, because the A-Mike has to be an anchor.
Well, here's the thing,
You gotta be an
Joe, and I don't think that he'll get credit from this when you listen to this because he does not do this at all in Everyday Struggle. But in an environment where he feels comfortable, which was clearly his podcast, he's a very gracious listener.
Yeah.
And I felt he was the A-Mike there. You need somebody to listen. You like to talk.
He's
you need a point guard.
He's a gracious listener if he respects who's talking.
That's correct.
That's the thing.
Well, that was my issue, and that our issue just with Everyday Struggle is that you're showing a lack of respect for academics, and academics need someone to listen to him because he's never had someone to have a conversation with. It's a different skill to talk into a camera with no response and to talk at somebody.
Yeah, I thought your guys' conversation with academics was really good.
Dude,
we listen.
We listen. We gave him a platform.
Yeah.
He's a really interesting dude when you give him that confidence of, hey, what you say is valuable.
He's the internet god. You ever you ever read American Gods by Neil Gaiman? Or you should watch the Sean Stars. He's the internet god.
Yeah.
That's who he is. But I mean, that's the thing with anything though. Like anything that you do, you should listen. Like that's the art of conversation. Like even when people, there's no art to interviewing. The art to interviewing is being a good listener,
right?
And then being a good conversationalist comes second to me.
And for him in that environment where everything is new and he has to think of like all the facts and get them straight, he might not be listening to Joe and just concentrating on like
not listen to DJ Academics.
Oh no, I was saying the academics toward Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's brand new for him. I think Joe is like just gonna do Joe.
But let's get right to it. Rory said that he is a better white co-host or host than Andrew Schultz. And I was like, it's not even close. I was like, Andrew will wash you.
Yeah. That's why you say you like the first beginning.
I absolutely sure.
I was going to put that out.
I appreciate you defending me. First of all, nobody's a better co-host. I'm the best co-host regardless of skin color. It's not even a question. This is the best. This is the best podcast out. No offense, guys.
No, okay.
But this is the best cop podcast out, and I'm one half of it. So that's really what it comes down to.
In this white,
I honestly,
this top 5 white guy space.
I don't do that. I don't do the white guy space. My fucking racist ass family used to do that shit during like Thanksgiving.
What do you think Rory falls?
What do you think the best 5 white basketball players are?
Rory's coming up on our podcast. Yeah.
Tuesday.
Y'all did a whole interview with just Rory.
We did. He's got an interesting story.
Jesus Christ!
I think he might.
Yeah.
I think he might.
does,
Because I've seen him like tweet little things about being homeless or something like that.
No, but
or living in
sort of. Yeah.
He was like. Yeah, he was a bad kid. He went.
yeah.
I mean, he talks about
Rory was raised around all black people, but he felt homeless.
No, I always like Rory. I think he's I've defended him even last week. I always thought he was an interesting guy, and I like how he keeps Joe honest. He's not afraid at all to check Joe, and I think it's very important for a dynamic. I think one of the things that works here is if Charlamagne says some bullshit, I call him on it, and vice versa. And I think that's why it's interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's no question. I mean,
not even
I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest of all time. And I don't even like the racial list.
It's really not.
It's just there's one list. You know what I mean? You're either on Mount Rushmore or you're not.
I didn't even hold. I should have held Rory a little bit more accountable. I'm like, Rory, I don't think you can hold anything by yourself.
That's the thing.
That's what I should have had.
It's also a different dynamic, And then Rory was talking about like being a comedian or that kind of stuff like that. If you don't label yourself a comedian, I don't even want to hear that you're funny. Because you're not giving yourself the highest expectation. It's like Obama's good at basketball for a president. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if Obama started saying, I'm a professional basketball player, then we'd be like, Obama, you don't even shoot with your right hand on the ball. You have a goofy ass jump shot. So it's like, if you're not willing to give yourself the highest expectations for humor, I can't really judge you in terms of humor. You're funny for like a guy. Sure, but we're not talking about guys. I'm in a different caliber of what I do. You know, I'm elite at what I do. Mm-hmm. Now, what comes with that is a very high expectation. I welcome that.
Well, salute to those guys. Everyday struggle. And
I want to say one thing
podcast.
just about that. First of all, and everybody should go listen to it because I think I think it was just really interesting. You guys have a very interesting dynamic.
Always do, though.
You and Joe. It's
like, people act like
really
we
good.
don't do this every year. We do this every year.
The reason I was upset is because it was a moment that, we create these moments sometimes on these podcasts. It's been really fun. You create a culture moment. You guys have done it with sketch. We're like, oh, this is hitting. People are there. Yeah. And it's like, I knew there was going to be this moment. And selfishly, I want to be part of it. And it was one of those things. Yeah, I want to be part of it. It's like all we do is create content. That's all we got to do is create content. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
But actually, you still are a part of it because whether you realize it or not, people saying, "Where is Andrew?" is sometimes bigger than you being there. I know that. I know that may sound a little crazy, but it's the truth.
Sure.
Like, well, where was Andrew? Like that, and then he started off talking about you.
Right. And it was just one of those things where it's like, when Joe came on the podcast, Rory came with Joe, and there was no issue about having Rory out. What do you say? What is he talking about?
Because you just agree with you. You would be a good girlfriend because you just agree what he said. I'm like, that sounds like something I tell my girl.
Listen,
what the fuck did you just say? It's better for me.
I just want to be objectified. Okay.
You want to be there. Don't agree with that shit.
No,
you want to go on vacation with us?
Of course, I want to be there.
Then. Shut the fuck up.
Of course, I want to be there.
Oh yeah, right. You would be a good girlfriend.
Of course, I want to be there.
Go ahead.
Undeniable. I would want to be there. Just like I'm sure Charlamagne would want to be part of any event that we made. And we've made events on this show.
Don't listen to me.
Listen, I'm not listening to you. Point, never will I listen to you. There's no problem whatsoever. It's totally fine. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's as good because anytime I know I'm going to be spoken about, and anytime I think you are going to speak about somebody, you should give them the opportunity to talk back. And I've always done. I told him yesterday. I've always done that on this podcast. Like if I have any kind of debate with anybody, be it Angela Rye, be it Tariq Nasheed, be it who else, Immortal Technique. If there's any kind of discussion, you're welcome to come on here and talk with me because I believe iron sharpens iron, right? But if you are going to talk about me and personally not have me there, to me it shows me that you're not made of iron.
Scared.
You're scared. You're afraid. It's really what it comes down to is you're afraid to have that comeback because I'll be honest, last time we did have a podcast, I made Joe look silly.
You watched him.
But that's easy for me because Joe's light work for me. Joe doesn't know how to have a debate with me because he doesn't know anything about me.
Brilliant Idiots, Joe Budden Podcast, Mashup Part 2 coming soon. The fight is being sold as we speak.
I'm just saying, it's light work. It's always light work for me because Joe, I know way more about Joe than Joe knows about me. Joe's a much bigger figure in this world than I am. So he has nothing to go. He has no ammo against me. What are you going to say? Oh, I'm a white guy. I'm not part of the culture.
That's why it makes no sense. That's
your only go-to.
That's why it makes no sense to go at Twitter trolls.
You may be a good girlfriend, but you'd be a bad Joe Budden girlfriend.
Bad. First of all, I'm not Dominican enough.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I want to ask y'all something, too. What excites y'all now? Because 10 years, the whole landscape of media and the internet and everything has changed from 10 years ago. What excites y'all now? What inspires y'all?
Streaming inspires us. Streaming like video and television shows on video, and we think that's like hitting right on the curve right now, and we feel very strongly about it, and we think we would prosper very much there.
Yeah, but also, I think that for us, it's always about doing that new thing. Like we've been early on just about everything in our career. We were early on the sketches. We were early on podcasts. We did podcasts back in like 2010. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like just doing new stuff for us is always the
You guys
cool
are like
thing.
the Dogtown and Z-Boys.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And the problem with fucking Dogtown...
It was a great documentary?
It was, great documentary, but like Tony Hawk made all the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Dogtown set the platform, made it cool, made it interesting, made all the insiders fuck with it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this cute, tall, floppy-haired motherfucker comes in and he gets all the money, he gets all the video games.
Or
Tony Hawk was cute, don't you think?
Sorry, I was talking about
I don't know what this guy is.
Or maybe we're the Kanye Wests where we're appreciated by a niche audience and that just grows to the point where he becomes the biggest artist in the world.
That's what we hope.
That's what we hope.
That's what we hope. All I'm trying to say is that you're there from the inception.
Yeah.
And it's just nice. I always appreciate seeing the people that are there for the inception get the credit they deserve. I'm a big credit guy.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to see this happen on a streaming website or just people start to recognize that maybe you've influenced a lot of the people they like. Like Pryor, I came to Pryor after Eddie. So Pryor didn't seem as unique to me.
Right.
You
you know what I mean? It would just be cool for them to see you and be like, oh, this is where these Instagram comedians got their shit from.
And but what's cool now is that like nothing disappears anymore. It all exists on the internet, and people can still discover it whenever. And that's what we think about this new project. We think like, we're not here for first week sales. Although if we go against Lil Yachty on Friday and we sell more units than him, he should retire. But
Yachty comes out Friday too?
Yachty comes out Friday also.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many gay people do you have on your cover?
I don't think any yet.
It's a flop. It's not gonna work.
You should have been kissing the bear.
It's called Teddy Bear Fresh. It's in stores on Friday, digitally all over.
Yeah.
But we think that it's a strong project. We think we have a lot more stuff on the way. And Independent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you about to like Joe Budden us and be like, are you signed to a 360?
Nah, I think independent is the way to go for everything nowadays, man. I'm totally honest with you. I love the independent movement.
Well, we took meetings with all the labels, and we felt like we would do a better job ourselves if we were in charge.
Because we do everything ourselves anyway. You see us, our marketing campaigns, like we think of it ourselves. We don't need a marketing department. We don't need radio play because we know everyone, and we're working harder than anybody else, and we're stubborn.
So you said no.
Yeah,
we said no.
I mean,
is that hard?
It didn't get that far where it was like them like throwing money at us. I'm sure it's.
But it was like, do we continue the conversation? And we said no.
Well, you didn't want to go for it.
No.
Have you guys had to say no to big amounts of money? Is that difficult?
There were deals to do stuff with like Complex very early on,
and we said no.
We said no to that because that would have meant that we would be full-time bloggers, and we wanted to make videos. That's all we wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
What about the space Complex has now? Because Complex got the whole TV thing going.
They do. I mean, it's an option for us, and maybe it's the place. We don't know. Look, Everyday Struggle is a great thing. They do crazy numbers, and it has changed the sort of landscape out there.
Yeah, and we have a lot of friends over there, but that doesn't mean that we want to work with everybody. We have friends in a lot of places.
Yeah. We're lucky to be in a position now where we can say no and it makes sense for us,
Yeah, you have the privilege of protecting your brand.
We have the black privilege.
You have the black
stores now.
Black Apple.
Yeah, that is the nice thing, I guess, with like financial independence. Right? Like if you have a way of creating income, you can be picky about the people you work with.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, like, yes, money would be amazing.
Right.
Like,
So let's
if anybody wants to send us money, like, I will happily take it.
Let's sell a lot of records and outdo Yachty this Friday.
Well, that just gets him to retire.
Goddamn crazy.
It would be insane.
Oh my God. I want to know what the feedback would be.
Little Yachty got a big internet fan base too, though.
Humongous.
Yeah. So that's the thing to me. It's not about the buzz on the streets, it's the buzz on the net.
Yeah.
And like he got it. So Yachty gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Yachty had an album coming out, but I bet you it's 100,000 little kids online that can't wait for it on Friday.
Totally.
Yo, and by the way, I like Yachty.
Yeah, he's a good
guy. I do too.
Yeah. That's it.
I told Joe Budden on the podcast this week, I said, I like Yachty, but Yachty's not my thing because I'm not 19 years old. So I don't feel Yachty, but I'm not knocking him neither. And I'm not going to point to him and say, this is what's wrong with hip hop. Not when I can go listen to Kendrick and Big Sean and Wale and Chance.
Right.
And David Banner put out a great project. Like, there's plenty of dope shit out here. Why am I focusing on Yachty?
Right.
If you're someone who comments on music, you got to make sure that the game doesn't pass you by.
Right. Like, you don't want to be like those. It could be so easy for us to be like those old bitter guys, and that never wanted to.
No.
Yeah, never wanted to be those guys.
That's like Pat Riley with LeBron, right? Like LeBron is a millennial. Like he needs a little bit more pat on the back. He needs an entourage. He needs to be called king.
Yep.
And Pat Riley's old school. He comes from Magic. He comes from Jordan era where it's like, no, you're tough and you just deal with it and you do what the organization tells you and that's whatever. So he let LeBron leave. But I think maybe Pat let the game pass him by. Maybe Pat should realize, no, there's not going to be any more of those Jordans. You got to coddle these stars.
You got to deal with what you're dealing with now.
Yeah.
You got to play with the cards. You got to play the cards that life is dealing you at that moment. Like you can't continue like that. That's like Phil Jackson still trying to do the triangle offense. You got to adjust with the times, baby.
Yeah. That's just depressing. That whole situation.
You guys are Knicks fans?
Yeah. Never wore Jordans because
because you hated Jordan that way. I see you got the Barclays on.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
He wasn't a rival.
Well, tell him when the album comes out again.
Album comes out on Friday. Teddy Bear Fresh. it's us rapping alongside Currency, Smoke Dizza,
Bun B, Tunji Ige, Jazz Cartier,
Angie Martinez, Just Blaze, Sway, Combat Jack, whole bunch of people out there. It's a really good album. You guys should press play.
Wait, Combat's rapping on it?
No.
Oh, we need a Combat.
I know Combat got the hip hop, the hip hop, and you don't stop.
And by the way, our podcast is called The Waste of Time with It's the Real, and we went over to Loudspeakers Network after Charlemagne's gave us the Suge Knight speech.
Yeah,
and
he was like, "Come to death row."
Come to death row.
Do you guys record here?
No, we record out of our apartment.
Yeah,
out of your apartment. Where are you guys living in?
Upper West Side.
You're Upper West
We're
Side.
Jews,
Of course.
Have you seen a significant jump and increase in listenership since joining Loudspeakers?
We have.
Yeah.
Not
Chris. Because of the network, unfortunately.
Chris, you got the pussy.
Yes.
You got the pussy,
He
Chris.
said not because of the network.
But no, I mean, like we've had a good run.
Our name is good in the podcast streets. So
Yes.
yeah.
Word.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
My
man.
guys, it's the real.
Thank you guys for having us.
Real quick, what's a good episode to check out?
Charlemagne one's real good.
Okay.
Mano one is real good. K-Slay's a real good one.
We just
Angie
had
is a
Killer
good
Mike
one.
interview us this week because we didn't want to.
Chris sent me that.
That's a really good one.
I always ask that when people recommend a podcast because there's so many to choose from. It's like, give me your hit.
Totally.
Give me the song I got to listen to, whatever like that. And then what about a good sketch or song to check out?
Sketch you should check out. Slaughterhouse Rules. That's the Slaughterhouse is a boy band one.
Or Letters to Cam. That's where we had Cam host like a DJ K-Slay type show.
Yep. Those are good, and you guys should check out our music, which is going to be on all the streaming services this Friday. And before we go, we just wanted to congratulate Wax on your upcoming pregnancy. Salute to you.
Wax, you got it, baby.
There you go.
Big things.
Let's put that in the air, baby.
That means my hand gonna be pregnant. I'm going to celebrate.
Let's put that in the air, baby. Anything else? We good?
I think we're good. No, Whitlock. You got to talk about the Whitlock situation.
Ah, man, I'm not talking. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. He responded with some video saying, "Let's be brothers."
Yeah,
and let's help black people together.
That's hot though,
bro.
He sound like Andrew.
It's like, let's be together, man. Listen, Whitlock could be a good girlfriend. You need for Wax. Wax like his thick girls. That'd be a nice girlfriend for you.
Get some good pussy.
You never get with a girl. You would never get with a girl like Whitlock because they have to lose weight. Like you have to lose.
Yeah.
For you,
pounds.
not for Wax.
Now
Wax
you got a fat shame, so you can go ahead and go inside.
Wax fucks with girls in fedoras.
I want him to care about himself. Care about him. I want him to care about himself first.
Yeah.
Once you care about yourself, then me and you can have a conversation.
I be
about
trying to
caring
tell
for other
girls
people.
that, man. If your toes ain't done, I can't talk to you. You don't care about yourself.
You think Jason Whitlock's toes are done?
Probably fucked up.
Why are you thinking about his
all that ashy
feet,
shit
bro?
at the bottom of his feet.
Oh my God! You know how my dad's feet went viral for being the ugliest feet in the world? No, my dad's feet went viral for being the ugliest feet in the world. I put it on Instagram, dude, and it's what my future holds. We took him to get a pedicure yesterday.
Nice.
We got kicked out of 3 pedicure places. I swear to God. I swear to God. We got kicked out of 3. We finally did it.
So imagine having a girl like that. Nobody got time for that shit.
Let me see. Greg videotaped it. We videotaped the whole thing. We're going to put up a video about it. It is one of the most hilarious things.
Nobody wanted to do it?
Bro, my dad's feet are frightening, dude. They're fucking somebody said your dad's feet look like they should be carrying a small woodland creature.
Jesus
like
Christ.
Like a hawk or something like that came down.
Did somebody finally do it?
Yeah, we got a girl to do it. Nice. I hit her off nice, dude. It was crazy. Dude, you got to see her face when she looked at the feet. She had a SARS mask covering her whole face, and you could see her mouth open under it. Like
Jesus
it was
Christ.
that crazy reaction. It was amazing. Yeah. So,
well, it's the real. Thank you for joining us.
Yo,
man.
thank you, man.
Jeff.
When do we get to kiss Wax's hand?
No. I'll throw y'all some pussy first.
And make sure you check out the It's the Real podcast. Go get the album on Friday. And as always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. If you listen to this podcast and you think we're just a couple idiots who don't know shit, you're right too. It's the Brilliant Idiots podcast. Thank you for listening.
To your toes.